Hello, YouTube cubes. I am way late. Whoa, I'm also doing things I'm not supposed to be doing on the other screen. Hello, everyone. Just to let you know, until January 2nd, today is December 24th, Christmas Eve day, 2024. But until January 2nd of 2025, the game is on sale. Yes, you can use my links down below if you would like. Make sure you have cookies enabled and ad blocker disabled. But anyhow, those discounts stretch from, I believe, all the way from 20% off of... This is not it. This is the other sales. I should probably tell people about anyways. Bank tabs, 20% off. The January 7th, 31st to January 7th, inventory slots are 20% off. Character slots will be 20% off from January 7th to January 14th. What? But yeah, a lot of stuff going on sale. That's not the one I wanted. Yes, the winter sale. There it is. So, Secrets of the Obscure is 20% off. End of Dragons is 50% off. And Path of Fire, Heart of Thorns is 75% off. I lie. Experience the entire dragon cycle. No, that's still End of Dragons. Yes, 75% off for Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire. I knew I wasn't wrong. What? Also, Guild Wars 1 is 75% off. Those are also on Steam and I think the Epic Store as well. But don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. I'm not sure about the Epic Store. I really don't use the Epic Store. I have not opened that in a very long time. So just so you know. But yeah, you can, I think, experience the entire Dragon Cycle, the complete collection. The bundle contains an entire decade's worth of content included as Guild Wars 2 Seasons 2 through 5 and the first 3 expansions. So if you buy the Elder Dragon Saga Complete Collection, it's 50% off. It includes everything. Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, the Living World stuff. That's probably the best deal. Let me double check that price. $20! $20 to get everything up to End of Dragons. And then Soto's $20. This is US, by the way. And it's usually $50. So... where's the deluxe? Where's the complete? There's the complete. So it's $50. No, I lied to you. So it is $50. I'm not reading the right one. Why would it say available now then not link me to the correct one? Hello? $50 for all the Living World stuff, seasons 1 through 5. I know. It's confusing. The Icebrute Saga is now season 5. And then Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, End of Dragons. The base game, of course. Yeah. So if you've been playing the game, am I dropping frames or is YouTube just being a butt? YouTube's just being a butt. But all these sales are going on. Go check them out. Again, my links do work with it if you would like to support me. It costs you no extra. It's just they'll give me a kickback for being an ArenaNet partner. They sponsor me. But today I thought we could have a little fun talking about the first major update. And when I say a little fun, I'm going to say this as kindly as I can because the first major update was sort of disappointing. I gave it a 7 out of 10 at the end of the day. I'm just going to give you that score straight up. So, yeah. Let's see. I need to find, and I had it and I just clicked off of it. No, I closed it out. That's what I did. Ah, man. So, the one thing, when I start talking about this, I want everybody to understand is that the start of Janthir Wilds is very story heavy. Tons and tons of dialogue, People hated it. I loved it. It was a nice lore dump. It was getting all the characters back together. It was seeing that the world has now changed. It truly did feel better than what happened with Soto. Soto sort of felt like filler. I say that a lot. Like, if you're watching an anime and you see a filler episode, you know what I'm talking about. That's what Soto felt like. But it did continue the story of Soto into that, because now, you know, the crypt is invaded because the dragons are gone and all that kind of stuff. So when this expansion, Janthir Wilds, came around, and it's doing a bunch of lore dump and that kind of stuff, and, you know, introducing new things, how do I want to say this? It did a lot of interesting things, and it made me very hopeful. That's what I want to say, because we got 2 new maps as usual, as Soto sort of did, you know, whatever. And then it gave us homesteads and a new decoration system and the handiwork stuff. It gave us spears, right? Spears were very important. It gave us new relics that are actually pretty great. Janthir Wilds also gave us, what am I trying to think of? The masteries that came along with the War Claw and updating the War Claw for PvE and sort of world versus world. not as much as one would think. But there's been a lot of stuff in between as well. There's been updates to World vs. World, balance updates, quality of life changes, like the newest one with the Heroes banner and stuff. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but these are things that are streamlining the game and making things better in the long run when it comes to Janthir Wilds. I think this is part 9 of the entire playlist. And the first major update was just a 10-hour stream, and I was done. And so when we got all these new things at the start, I was pretty hopeful that it was sort of a standard that was going to be moved into. And when this major update landed, it was sort of like the wind out of the sails type of thing. Like, there just wasn't much there. And it's sort of on me, because I'm not interested in the raids. But I have watched the raids be done. I have looked at the guides from several different eyeballs, you know, and just listening to other streamers like Muckluck. I've been watching. I actually watched him go over the guides live and that kind of thing, and just hearing like the community come together for raids and stuff. I think that was a big part of the last update. But people like me who don't raid, we sort of got the short end of the stick in a way. And that's because when I get into the game and start talking about the other things we got, it just doesn't sort of make up for the lack of content. Because here's the thing, in the next update, if you're not interested in homesteads like me, raids, you know, the relics, if they didn't hit you at all, you know, you're not going to make the legendary spear. There was no content for you. Because the story was about 2 hours of talking over the things we've already experienced in the first update, and then a very weak ending battle to what was sort of built up as going to be a bit of a hardcore uphill fight, because we're fighting titans. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So the story sort of just felt flat. It just was there. And I sort of wish they just ended it in the original, you know, release. They should have just given us that story in the original release. But they wanted to keep those interested in the story interested, but there was just no story. Without a new map, which we'll be getting in the next update, there was just nothing really to explore. The achievements were very hit and miss, in the sense of, like, did you do them, did you not? There was just, it wasn't exactly much for the open world PvE group, because I think everything was sort of set on the legendary spear being the thing. And when I talk about it today, I'm going to talk about why rushing it and doing it in the first week sucked. It was the first time I think I've ever done that with content, in the sense of actually using gold and stuff to expedite the process, which I'll probably never do again. There's just no reason to. It's better just to profit off of what's there than come back and use that gold to get your stuff done faster later to better effect. But I did make the legendary spear. It cost me, I think, just over 3,900 gold in materials and liquid gold to finish the legendary spear. Today, the spear is only worth, in crafting, and again I closed my window and I'm dumb for doing that. No. Yeah. To craft it is only 2156, which is about I'll be generous, 900 gold more than the other legendaries. It is also the most profitable spear as of right now, or weapon, excuse me, not just spear, but the most profitable weapon to craft for a legendary, besides Eternity. But Eternity isn't exactly profitable, it's just really expensive. So you get a lot of money back when you're done, but really you're putting a lot of money into it. The spear on the trading post right now, there's a buy price for 3,100 gold, a sell price for 3,444 gold, 44 silver, and 40 copper. Eternity, which is right here, is almost the same, 3,100 gold buy price and 3849.99 for the sell price. So we can see that the spear is still pretty lofty on the trading post, and crafting wise it's about 900 more gold than any other weapon in general. Eternity only cost 3,000 gold to craft on the high end, so only. But you know, when it's only 2156 for the spear, it's still not Eternity level. So I spent more gold in the first week making that spear and rushing it than if I just saved that money and bought another Eternity. And just to let you all know, I bought Eternity off the trading post years ago. I think that video is still on this channel. Well, it should be, I hope. And it was 4,000 gold that I spent. I just bought it off the trading post. Because I didn't want to make two legendaries and then have one. So I just made 4,000 gold and bought it off the trading post. I did that live on Twitch back in the day. And people just think making that much gold is impossible. It is all a lie. But the spear, since it is selling for over 1,000 gold more than it costs to craft, is one of the most profitable legendaries right now to craft and sell. And it's not actually that difficult to make. It's just very convoluted. But that was the major open world PvE stuff that came with Godspawn, which is what they call the update. And the mastery was only related to updating the homestead. So again, the new mastery really didn't do anything for the player. And I think the next mastery will just be homestead stuff too. So the next update, I think, is going to be more full of stuff for open world people, since we're getting a new map, than this last one. And the raid people won't be left out because the challenge modes are coming. What was the other thing that was coming? More relics. I think that's it. It's just more story map, that kind of thing. And then we'll get another map after that. So I think this update has been the least content we have ever gotten for an update, for an expansion. Even Living World, I can't think of an update that didn't have more. I really thought about this. I don't think there has ever been a release of content that has been lesser than Godspawn. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, put it down and be like, what about, Living World, whatever. And then my memory just, maybe it's just not there. But as a release, Overall, 7 out of 10. The story, not really there, not really doing much for it. The raids I heard are good, so if you did the raids and you think, oh, this update was fantastic. They also already emboldened them, so a lot more people were able to join. There has been a lot of interest for new players to go in. People have already gotten that new title, bringing people in and doing raids. I thank the raid community and everybody involved with that, and all the other ANET partners who are doing the raid stuff for getting people in and showing raids aren't as tough. I just don't like raids. As somebody said, you just don't like playing with people. That's not true. I do World versus World all the time. Because in World versus World, if I don't like playing with people, at least I can kill some of them. You know, like... But that's just it. I don't think any of the changes that have come at the end of this year for ArenaNet have been impactful for anything too grand. And that's okay. The more I think about it, we can't always have an 8 or 9 out of 10 content release. There is just going to sometimes be content that we're not interested in, but that was the major focus, and you're just not going to get what you want. But this also brought up another thing that other people have been talking about for a long time. Sorry, everybody. It is almost Christmas. So people are I think there's people already celebrating on the other side of the world. So yeah, it's weird. Dude, it's like New Year's Day. It's like New Year's Eve, but for Christmas for some people. As soon as it hits midnight, man, it is Christmas. People are going. But yeah, before I get too far, Merry Christmas. We have been doing a lot here, by the way. Just before I move into the game and start pointing things out directly and change the music up and all that kind of stuff, if you missed a very Legend of Merry Zelda-like Christmas, please go check that out. There's 12 games I showcased. We get a little fuzzy back here in the last 3 because of things. But yeah, we'll be back in Tunic Thursday this week, so here in a couple days. Tomorrow's Christmas. I think I'm streaming tomorrow. I don't want to promise anything, but I think as long as the fix that was given to me for Stardew Valley works tonight, we'll do Stardew Valley tomorrow on Christmas. But other than that, we'll be back in Tunic and things, so if you haven't checked out that playlist, very interesting, going all the way back to like 2013, I think, all the way to this August of this year for quote-unquote Zelda likes. I also give a score at the end of the shows about how Zelda-like they are. They range from all the way like 9 out of 10 Zelda-like all the way to 2 out of 10. So not very Zelda-like, but this was a great time. In the future, I don't think I'll do as many games, but it was interesting. We finished a couple of them. Yeah, it was just a journey, and I really enjoyed it. So, but other than that, our next major day will be December 31st, a week from today, to talk about all the amazing stuff that's happened on YouTube, and yeah, it should be fun. So without further ado, let's get in the game. I'm going to keep all this stuff up. Don't close it again. I almost closed it again. So we can sort of look at some things in game. And I'm just going to jump on this character right here. So we can get some Arborstone music. Arborstone's music is amazing. Just amazing. But I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. What? Another special? So the other thing I haven't pointed out in a lot of these is the fact they continue to give us, I think, week after week, like new goals to do for the special for extra acclaim. So like complete 5 convergences. But so far they've given us 30 events in Janthir region, complete convergences or raids in the Janthir region, complete Mount Balror convergence, complete Of the Mist and Monsters meta achievement, complete Balror Peak story chapter, defeat 1,000 enemies in the Janthir region, complete 15 repeatable renown hearts in the Janthir. Like, there's a lot. And then there's the Winter's Day stuff for the festival, collect 4 relics from Janthir Wilds set 2. That's not even finishing it. That's just 4 of them, which you can do in World versus World really easily. If you're playing a lot of that. And then, yeah, it's just been a lot of that. And then we're going to probably get more for the Lunar New Year before the next update and whatever else they're going to throw at us. So I am absolutely maxed out on Astral astral acclaim. I bought all the exclusive stuff is gone again. I have, as of right now, bought everything that is exclusive to the astral acclaim. The next thing I will be buying, I think, is first these, because I need them sooner rather than later. Wow, this window is really working. But yeah, I'm just going to start buying the expensive stuff and sort of getting rid of that. So this is going to look more and more empty. If you're going, why aren't you getting the gold? Why aren't you getting the clovers? I will. But this way I stay motivated doing the weeklies, because if I do buy out the store of the most expensive stuff, I can be like, maybe I won't get the Ascended stuff. But really, I do want to go ahead and buy the Ascended stuff because I just want the research notes, and it's good for me. It gives me something to do. But I don't even know if upgrade extractors are worth it anymore. I know this isn't worth it, this isn't worth it, this isn't worth it. These are never going to be worth it. I end up just buying gold at the end of the day. But we'll see. We'll see. But there's the update for the Astral Vault, Wizard's Vault stuff. We'll probably do some weeklies today. I'm so close to being done with it. It's crazy. I don't even know how I got so much stuff done. I only played last night for so long. But anyhow, let's get back to Janthir Wilds and sort of talking about it. And we're just going to go straight to the achievements, because that is probably the most important part of this entire thing. The achievements were not hard to do. They're some of the easiest achievements, I think, especially for the story stuff, and that kind of thing. But just looking at it and doing the achievements along the way too really prevented me from having to go back and do too much. It wasn't too hard to go back and do anything that I missed. One of them did bug out from when I was playing, but when I went back to do it the second time, it didn't bug out then. So I don't know if it was just something was off and didn't quite trigger the achievement or whatever it was. But overall, the achievements weren't hard to do. There was a lot of extra points here. My goal this year was to hit 45,000 achievement points. I'm at 426 over. I hit that, I don't remember, back in November, October, something. So lots of achievement points from the updates still, and festivals and that kind of stuff this year. So next year I'm not even going to make an achievement point goal at all. There might be some achievement hunting next year, but I'm not going to put a number to this. The reason why that is because of the expansions, the updates and stuff. They just give so many points. I don't know how to do it besides saying go back and do achievements from this or something like that as a goal versus a number here. So yeah, but compared to the first two acts, I gotta say Godspawn's achievements much easier in a lot of ways. But I got them all done. I have all the mastery points for the masteries. The masteries were done. Sorry, it's gonna do Into Dragons here, but all of these are done. And doing another homesteading for only 6 points, I still had 13 points, and I think that's where we ended up last time. So they gave us all the mastery points to get the mastery this time. And then if I go down here to raids, the new raid, again, I haven't done it. I'm probably going to be dragged in there at some point next year because of reasons. But there is 3 more, so you can have 16 total extra mastery points on the ready for whatever the next update is. So they're giving us plenty of mastery points and stuff like that when it comes to this. But the update, again, just already had so many mastery points going into it, and then they gave me more, and then I still have more. It's just that wasn't a problem, so there was no like reason to go search out more mastery points if I didn't care about achievements. And I did care about achievements. That's why I did so many. So let's talk about it. We can't finish this one because we haven't got a new map. But in fact, it doesn't make sense because we're getting 2 new maps. So I'm not really sure how this achievement is going to get done. But yeah, the rest of them were done already. Lowland Shore, I do have the maggots to do. Here's the daily stuff, but everything else is done. Janthir Sentry, nothing new. I still have to go kill some titans up in the northwest. Weather Conductor and Poetic Justice, just really hard achievements. They're only worth 1 point. I'm not too worried about them. We did get this one. Me and a group of people went out there. We did it, and we didn't get credit. Not true. Some people got credit and other people didn't, and we're still not sure why. ArenaNet said they fixed that bug, but we also think it's because we were killing things and not killing things, if that makes sense. So we weren't getting the credit we needed for it. We were a little unsure. He was healed completely the entire time. I think there was 3 druids, so we're still not sure. It was like a spur of the moment thing to go get it for somebody else. They got it, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I still didn't get this, so I don't know what happened here. I think it's just something in Janthir Wilds that isn't triggering the achievement. Almost like something's laying over from the last time you attempted it, if it makes sense. Like if the event was going... So the theory is if you do something like that event before you do that event for the achievement, it's not going to trigger the achievement. So like if the event is going on and it already failed for that achievement and you attack something there but then run away and never finish the event, it carries over to when you come back to the event. Even if it says you have like the chance to get the achievement, it doesn't give it to you. Like it just sits there on your bar and just disappears. But like other people said, they've gone back and done the event from the start fresh without doing anything else and have gotten it. Other people still haven't gotten it, and we don't know why. So, but the theory is it's like some weird layover thing that's happening for some people. Weather Conductor, we didn't go out and do this one. I was going to do it with that group, but I didn't want to mention anything because it's, again, this is really easy to do when people are doing it. It's just people aren't really doing it anymore. But that's just it. The 2 maps are sort of empty, but not at the same time. It's weird. People are very doing very specific things like the Bog Queen or the Titan stuff, or they're just doing the hearts. The maps have stayed busy. Here's Convergences. I think I got all the achievements or pretty good. Oh, I'm 1 away. Oh, okay. This one, how far? 8 away. Supplier supplies. So, you know, I did do this and then you have to complete it so many times. I'm trying to finish up tier 2 technically for the relic, but I don't need to. I was going to do this at least 10 times. So for the tier 2. But the rest of it is just extra all the way to the barricade. But what's nice is they only require you to do it 50 instead of 100 times. But 50 still feels like a lot in all honesty. The convergence is interesting. It's been fun when I've done it. So, it's sort of rewarding in ways. But for the most part, I have not felt a need to go back and continue to do it. So that content is there. I did it 7 times. I think I needed to do it for the spear, for something involved like with the spears. So that kind of thing. Weekly rift hunting has become more important because it gives you the renown tokens for the hearts. Each one, I think it gives you up to 12 for doing all 5 rifts, because it gives you 2 chests at the end. Isn't that right? 2? Yeah. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you just do the rifts, you can finish the hearts, all 3 hearts once every week. And that's good for the spear to do that. And you get essence that you will need for the spear. Repeatable achievements. This is all the treasure hunter and the renown hearts. They updated the Janthir chests to give you much better rewards. And then, of course, 5 Janthir gearboxes. I've repeated this 24 times. I love running around on the Warclaw, sniffing, finding treasure, grabbing the locked chest, all that kind of stuff. It was really fun. But now that the prices of stuff have dropped, it's just not as fun. It's not as rewarding, so I don't do it as much anymore. I still do it when I'm out in the maps, though. Janthir side stories. I finished all of those as well when it came out, but it had nothing to do with the update. So the update did affect this stuff because you had to go do the hearts and things like that. So I don't know how these ended up. Oh, okay, 2 of them are Janthir Century. Some of these I've repeated more than others because the hearts are just easier to do. Lowland Shore hearts are done more often than the Janthir Century hearts. This one's probably the Northern heart, it looks like. Renowned hearts, did them all, did all of that stuff. It was well worth doing the hearts over and over and over. And getting all 120 achievement points and the rewards that came with it, that kind of stuff, all the mastery stuff done. But when it came to the update, the major one was this right here, doing the gifts, that kind of thing. And I'm going to talk about this a bit because this was the major update, legendary weapon / whatever for you know, Janthir Wilds. It's just so disappointing. First of all, this collection had problems triggering things. So much so that if I go over here and open the bank and go into here, I have 150 Mersat runestones that are still account bound because of the collection. The way I did it and like separated them or whatever, it account bound the entire other stack I had. It's a bug, and now I'm just stuck with 150. Now, could I put in a support ticket and get 150 new ones? Probably, but I'm just going to hold on to these for now, just in case I do want to make the spear again, for whatever godforsaken reason goes into my brain and says to do it. Also, what the frick is with all this luck? It goes on this character, by the way. So, you can take all that. Yes, that's a precursor. But anyhow, yeah, the Mersat runestones, you only needed 100 of them. I ended up quickly selling a stack and that kind of thing. It's all the way over here. The way they set up this collection is insanity. I just want everybody to know that. It is a convoluted mess that frustrated me because it existed versus how it should have existed. So if you don't know, you need 26 different gifts to finish the spear. If you go in here and look at all this stuff, it asks for a certain amount of gifts. You need to craft them all to get the collection to unlock, to do things, to get your achievement. There are 63 objectives to get. But the way they ordered it in here immediately is wrong. They should not have done it this way. It should be reversed. So what's down here in the bottom right should be all the way in the top left. And then if you worked your way from the bottom up, like I did, it's much easier to understand how they wanted you to do everything. So if we start at the bottom, I can explain this much better than if I was to start at the top and start just being like, well, then you need this, then you need this, then you need this, then you need to get this, then you need to do that, right? Because that's just stupid. I still do not know why they did that. And the other thing is things like obsidian shards, ecto, what else was in there? These ascended things, I don't think they're exactly necessary to be putting in there to make people even more confused. A cube of stabilized dark energy makes more sense to put in there and not just a ball of dark energy, if that makes sense. Because you need to figure out how to make this, but it tells you in the hint. Refine from 1 ball of dark energy and 75 stabilizing matrices. So you know how to make this. But it does not tell you that with this. So why is it in there? That's why it's so convoluted. There is so much extra information in this collection that I think you can remove probably 8 or 9 things and it would make sense. Like amalgamated gemstones, like have a hint, but at the same time, it doesn't tell you every way to do this. It does say you could create it, but like it. Did they also fix the name of this? There was something else. The name of things wasn't correct. Neutralized ingots of Titanstone does not exist because it's neutralized Titan alloy. Neutralized ingots of Titanstone does not exist. Treated planks is not treated planks, it's sweet treated pine plank. So it's already trying to confuse even further. There are so many things like that in this collection that the spear for a newer player might even be more confusing or less confusing based on what you've done in the game already. So if you haven't made a legendary and you think this is how legendaries are made, I'm going to tell you, no, this is a more convoluted way to do legendaries, and it was completely unnecessary to do this. So the other thing, oh yeah, that's what it was. It's even more than 9 things, because if we take out the other gifts in here because you need the major ones with those. Right? But you do need 2 gifts of bones, so that could have stayed because it's a major thing you need to have. But anyways, we start down in the corner. Getting ectoplasm's as easy as salvaging a rare, an exotic. Anything above level 68 or above, rare or exotic, has a chance to give you ecto. It also depends on what kind of salvage thing. So if you use a mystic salvage kit, you have a higher chance to get resources back or something like that. I don't know. Somebody out there has the math. But then they had this Bearkin Warhelm and the Standing Stones timepiece. And these 2 things bothered the shit out of me. I salvaged my Bearkin Warhelm because it was a piece of armor that I thought was just a special thing you got from achievements. So if you finished your Lowlands and Janthir Century masteries, you got these objects. The problem is they're salvageable, which is absolutely fucking insane to me. Why ArenaNet allowed this to happen will blow my mind for the next decade. They need to stop doing this. They need to completely stop giving us precursor things in achievements and not yelling at us to never ever salvage this. Do not get rid of this. You're going to need it later. And if you're going to buy it later, it's going to be expensive, because they told us there could be a way to get this later. They just didn't tell me it was going to cost me over 20 gold to buy it back, which is extremely hefty for a mistake of salvaging something. They need to stop doing that to players. And if some guy out there goes, oh, you should be smart enough and read and blah, 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 you have not played enough of this game. After 15,000 hours, you get tired of reading every goddamn little thing that's the same goddamn color nearly as everything else. Okay? You have no ground to stand on. There isn't even a fucking hill for you. Nobody's giving you a soapbox to tell you that people are stupid. Okay? People make mistakes. Gamers make mistakes all the time. It's a fucking game, okay? This should not be salvageable once you had it. It should have been a token. And they shouldn't have given you anything to put on your head or on your back. It should have just been a token of gratitude. In fact, it should have been a decoration piece, and it just unlocked part of a collection. Galka. Hi, welcome. Happy holidays to you. But these 2 things right here bother the crap out of me. Now, here's the thing. What if I want to make a second spear? Shouldn't those cost money? Yes, but not the initial ones. If you give me something initially, that is something I need to hold on to. Do not try to confuse me. But anyhow, I ended up having to buy this one back, so it cost me a little more money. But if you follow through, got your Janthir Century Lowland Shore masteries done. By the way, they're over here. So it's all the way at the bottom. Janthir Century. Whoa, where are you going? You got to click on it first. This one was right here. So this helm was used for crafting the Janthir Wilds legendary items. You must select a weight to use it in the Mystic Forge. Additional copies can be purchased in the near future. I do not know why they didn't tell us additional expensive copies can be purchased in the near future, because it's expensive. 20 to 30 gold is expensive for a component in anything. Or a mistake. Should not have been salvageable, should not have been forgeable. You have to drop it out of your inventory. Stop making these salvageable. And, dare I say, make them fucking ascended. It is a legendary component. Anyways, back to the legendary spear. It's gonna bother the hell out of me for years to come. So then we have to make the gift of metal, and they talk about all these other pieces of stuff because you have to make a vision crystal. They could have just told us we needed the vision crystals, so they could have cut these 3 things out because it would have told you need to make bloodstone bricks, dragonite ingots, and imperial stars. They're already base recipes that you have at level 80 or ascended crafting or whatever. So again, they're throwing a lot of information at you for no more reason than to throw more information at you. So then when you go to craft this stuff, the hints are helpful, but it's just, again, it's convoluted. So when you're trying to unlock this stuff for the collection, it's just more unnecessary things to unlock. Deldrimor Steel Spearheads and the large Spirit Wood halves, there are count-bound things that you have to craft. These, I think, are great to be in there. You know, we had to make so many of those. And then you take 6 of those. The Memory of the Bearkin's Adversaries, where's that one? Uh-oh. I'm already forgetting. I had this down, man. I had this down. I missed something. What was it? So you take those 6 vision crystals and a memory of Bearkin's. Wait, near what? What? Anyways, you're trying to make a precursor, and these are all the parts. I think it was wrong with something. Yeah, okay. That's what it is. See, I got confused again. It's telling me this item right here. So it's not a hint. It's just straight up telling me in the description that you combine it with those other things. But the way they write it in there is the worst writing I've ever seen to explain how to make cookies. Like once you have the dough, it's telling you to combine the chocolate chips, the eggs, and the things in the description of the dough. Say, it's like using the word to describe a word. This is a big no-no in everything. You never use the thing to describe the thing. You can say, hint, combine this with 6 Deldrimor Steel Spearheads, 6 large Spirit Wood halves, and 6 vision crystals to create the near Harmar. I don't know how to say that. Again, they chose a language I don't know how to pronounce. So I don't know. What was this used for? It gives the gift of the sharpened tip. Is that it? Anyways, there's a way to craft this. All this stuff goes all the way to here. And that's how it's read. I know it's so hard, but that's what I'm talking about. It's so goddamn convoluted. This is terrible. This is horrible. This is the worst thing I've seen from ArenaNet when it comes to crafting or making something. I have no idea why there's so much involved with it. I have no idea why the descriptions are all over the place. I have no idea why the setup for this thing is so just absolutely disjointed, but it is. But if we continue on, they're going to tell me about hydrocatalytic reagents. Why? Because I need the gift of research. It doesn't need to tell me anything because in the description, it tells me how to make it. It tells me right there. So I don't need this here. Get rid of that. Gift of war, a gift of battle. These are important things to get. A gift of glory, right? Gift of the mist. You know, this tells you how to get that. So you're combining stuff as you go, going up. Then you need 100 mystic runestones. What is this? 25 Tales of Adventure right here. They didn't put Tales of Adventure in there, did they? Yes, they did. Don't need it in there. Throw it out. Because this is telling me I need to get 25 Tales of Adventure. Gift of Bones. A memory of Bearkin's victories. Which is this one. Which is gotten from... This item is acquired from the achievement Klobjorn Gear Janthir Spear Kills. You had to kill like 200 things with the spear or something. 250 things. Which you can use the ambient creatures to do that. Because we'll talk about those other achievements as we go through this. But anyhow, once you get this... And other things. It's just, it goes on like that. It's almost like repetitive, it just ambiguous, but not. It's almost telling you too much information, but also not enough. Like, there is no step-by-step process with this collection, and that's what it needed to be. In fact, I could have broken this collection up into freaking 10 parts and had it be much better. Or 4 parts for the 4 components to make the spear. Because at the end of the day, all this stuff is headed towards something. So the spear tells me what I actually need. The precursor tells me I need the gift of Janthir Wilds, the gift of the Homesteader, and the gift of Clobjorn Gear, or whatever it is, right? Which is right here. Which then tells me I need a gift of the Recollector of Memories. Was that right or wrong? That's what I wanted to look at. What was the gift of the Recollector of Memories? Yes, that was right. But anyhow, that tells me so to get the gift. But the thing is, the way they could have done this is just in 4 parts. And give 5 achievements per part. I don't give a crap. Give 4 achievements per part. I don't give a crap. And it goes on and on. But see, I found the next part. So here's the spear. Everything behind it is usually what I need. Here's the next part. Everything behind it is what I need for it. And then now I need to find the next part, which is all the way up here. No. I skipped it. I missed it. Where is it? Uh-oh. Right. No. What do I need? Gift of the Homesteader. Where is it? Gift of the Homesteader. Right here. Now, this is a convoluted piece of shit, but they put it in there. I need everything behind that to the last part. So I need Mystic Clovers and the Gift of Scales, all the gifts. Gift of Totems, another Gift of Bones. See, the Gift of Bones was needed somewhere down here, too. So it doesn't make sense. Gift of Condensed Magic. Gift Shards of the Homestead, which was terrible. But at least you could buy those. That's what cost me a lot of money at the end of the day. I ended up just buying those. And then, you take all this. Now, this just says 250 refined metal, refined fiber, refined wood. It is not called metal, fiber, and wood. It is called refined homestead fiber, refined homestead metal, refined homestead wood. Now, that one, I can sort of forgive them because it does sort of have the shards of the homestead, so you understand it's all homestead related. But what's crazy is that they're double dipping with these materials. You need these materials to make the shards of the homestead. So it's weird. Just this entire spot is weird to make this. They could have done it in a completely different way, I feel. But trying to throw us in the homestead to make it useful in some way to people who are not interested in the homestead besides collecting the materials every day, this was a fail on their part, in my opinion. But getting the gift of the homesteader, that is the 3rd part, which leaves us with the last part, which has a lot of convoluted stuff in it as well, because you're going for a gift of uncovered grounds, all the way up to a gift of gather of the hunt, and it requires all sorts of things. So behind the gifts usually are what you need for those as well. So amalgamated rift essence requires essence. Essences aren't in here. We didn't need obsidian shards. We didn't need to even know about the Eldritch Scroll, but I can forgive that one. It is a legendary component. I've already talked about this. There's just a lot of stuff in here that is just not necessary to the understanding of what you need to end up with something. You need to finish the stuff to get the gift of Janthir Sentry and the gift of Lowland Shore. You can buy these from any heart vendor, I believe, for a certain price. So that's how you get those again. It's not about completing the map again. You do have to buy them again. I don't remember how we got them originally. Was it from completing the map? From an achievement? Now I can't remember. But you get one of them for free. I can't remember where that's from, but yeah, so this entire collection is just an absolute mess of an existence, but it was the way we had to do it because there was no /wiki look something up, right? So once I figured out that this is here and everything's behind it, which is a dumb order of operations, because when you read in English and most languages, it's left to right. It's right, but the other thing is, why is it all in the same place? Why did all 63 components end up in the same place? Or whatever. I don't think it's exactly 63, right? But it might be. 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I guess it is 63. But anyhow, they could have split this up. They could have had the spear in its own achievement. They could have had it. Because they had a lot of room in here to tell us about things. Here's the way to get this. You go talk to the NPC to open up that. This was Rager Convergence Victories. Oh, this gave you a certain amount of points. That's why I had to do it 7 times, because it was only giving 15 points. The raid was like 30 or something like that, maybe double. I can't remember. But you had to do the raid less than you had to do the convergence. So, but the convergence wasn't bad. I didn't mind that. And then do 6, any world boss or meta event. Any of them. So that was actually really easy. I actually like this achievement because it's easy. And then I can reset these to get these components again. So this is actually sort of a good way to get components for legendaries. And sort of steals from, you know, the Generation 2 legendaries in a way, because you had to go finish a collection. But this is like saying, hey, if you want to earn this again, go do 6 more world bosses or meta events, which is, you know, usually something you do along the way. Also, if you're using spears and killing things in Janthir Wilds map, 250 is not bad, especially if ambient creatures count. So, and they do for now. We'll see if they change that. But the raids and stuff like that and the convergence, this does take a bit because it's scheduled and convergences don't happen that often, and raids are only useful if you have a group. So this one is a bit harder to do, but it still can be done. I did it. I ended up going into a private one, and we just ran it over and over and over and over. Thank you to the people who were doing that. It did speed things up. But anyhow, this achievement's what kicked everything off. I did finish it. I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end here, but you do go back to the NPC. There's a bunch of lore dump about that spear and that kind of stuff. So that I actually really enjoyed. So once the spear was done, I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to because I was so salty about making the spear and what went into it, and how much it cost me. But once I went out there to finish the achievement and talk to the NPC, it was actually pretty cool what they did with the spear. The spear itself is a bit disappointing. It's cool, but I'm going to show you 2 sides of the spear. Do I need to talk about anything else with the spear before I go away from this? I don't think so. I just wish this was done better. And I know how it can be done better. They could have split this up. They could have removed a bunch of stuff from this collection that was sort of like, duh. Even if you've never played the game, like, this stuff is inside of your bank. If you go look, go to your material storage and go, oh yeah, I got a clover. And then it tells you how to make clovers in the description, right? So it doesn't tell you that the clovers, like, is not involved in that process at all. It says obsidian shards, mystic coins, globs of ectoplasm, philosopher's stones, or mystic crystals. It does not tell you that mystic clovers are involved in anything there. So I don't understand the inconsistency of the recipe to something. You tell us how to make something for one description, and then in another one you put it as a hint, but then you say this thing is in with this stuff for the Mystic Forge, but it's all unnecessary. You just need to tell us what it's mixed with, not the it just doesn't. Oh, sneezing. Sorry, somebody was sneezing. But anyhow, it's all in here, right? Like, they should hint also go look at your material storage for further information. So, you know, it, and the thing is, we also have a search bar. So if I needed Mystic something, like putting in Mystic, I have Mystic Curio. Oh, the Mystic Runestones, blah, blah, blah. But this doesn't say hint to go buy this from whatever either. So that's wild, but it's there. It's there. But anyhow, I don't know. That collection just did nobody justice here. It bugged out. A lot of people couldn't get things to trigger, and then it did trigger. Then it was an account bounding things. But in all honesty, I just do not think for a moment that this couldn't be done better for the player, for the ease of access. But it's already done, and it is what it is. So I'm expecting the back piece to be sort of the same way, unless they did learn a lesson here. Which, it depends on who complained about what and whether they ever gonna watch this about it. So, you mad? Try PvP. Oh, I do try PvP. Then I get furious, and then I stop playing PvP. Fell down an icy hill and lodged a tooth out of my head. Only reason I found it was because of the blood. So, what the frick? We're trying to do a review here, and you're talking about launching teeth out of your mouth. But I hope you go to the dentist? And I'm sorry? And if you think that's fun, I have some video games for you. But I know you're being sarcastic. You're not having fun. You're fine, you just got here? Do you remember how you got here, though? That's the important part. Because usually if you hit your head hard enough or teeth come flying out, there could be some other issues. Anyhow, let me show you the legendary spear, everyone. First of all, we're going to get on my Asura. This is why polish and testing things on different scales is so important. All right, this is why right here. All right, so this is my Asura. Let me get the spear out, and immediately you can see that the Aurene legendary, there is a big impact on my character. You can see the footfalls, you can see the legendary, you can see that kind of stuff. Then let me switch to the spear, and not so much. You can still see the footfalls and that kind of thing if you're curious about the footfalls. They're like these ghostly little footfall things that are happening, that kind of stuff. When I wield the spear, however, whatever version of the spear, you unlock all 6 skins, by the way. When you make the legendary, you actually get 6 legendary skins for the legendary. Whatever ones you do not pick get put behind your character. So the other 5 are behind you in this nice little arc here. With my Virtuoso, it's pretty cool because you got 5 spears here, you got 5 knives here, you got a spear in your hand. You just look absolutely daunting if you could see the other ones. And you see the other spears go into the spear when you put it away. So when you pull it out, there's this little ghostly thing, and then boom, we have the spears. The other thing is, if I do, like, I can't do a launch attack now I think about it. But if I try to launch, the effect here is Mesmer, actually. So as I'm doing this, you see that right there? Most of that's Mesmer effect, by the way. But it does have a ghostly little swing. You can see it when I run. But the thing is, when it comes to this spear specifically, it does have like launch effects. I just can't do it on this character. Well, actually I can. It does have a launch effect with the spear, and it also has a kill effect. When I kill something with the spear, the other spears land on top of the creature, and then it like sinks into the ground. It looks pretty cool. The problem is, on the Asura, you can barely see it. Look how daunting this character is. Oh, also, if you glide, let me show you. So if the spear is out and you glide, the other ones try to go back in, but when you land, it comes back out, and then they have to go back behind you. It does look pretty cool when that happens, though. It's a little wild. But, yeah, if I kill something with this spear, the effect can happen. The problem is, since I'm running with a Arene weapon, this effect can happen too. And this effect is so noisy when it comes to this weapon that I can't see the spear effect go off, or if it's supposed to interchange, the Arene weapon triggers more often, and I rarely see the spear kill effect. So, it just doesn't happen. Now, let me show you what happens when I go to a different size character. And I think this character is not the shortest size, okay? So he's not the smallest, but he's also not the tallest. I think he's just sort of average size. But we're going to go to my Guardian here, which is a much bigger model. Hey, you know AFK farmers and bots in game? We need item in game for move AFK farmers. Yeah. What is happening? So this is a Norn. Look at the spear now! Look at it. Look at this freaking spear. So this Norn has the spear on. Footfalls, not as great, but rarely are they when you get on a big character. This Norn is as big as possible, by the way. And when I do this, I get all the effects coming out, but I can still see the other spearheads behind me. They are different from the other one. And the other thing is, I can see the projectiles on this character. So those are the spears coming down. The effect of the spears of the actual weapon overtake the legendary spears still. So the spear itself did not get as much love visually, I feel, when it comes to combat as the arena weapons. So just any other effects you have are sort of a takeaway to what is happening. But you can see that the spear is coming down. But it's much more visually appealing on a large Norn than it is on a small Asura. Although the footfalls don't scale at all. Now, if I switch to the arena stuff, you can see just how noisy these weapons are for the arena weapons, and I love it. So, the footfalls are still pretty great with the arena weapons as well. It's just that this spear visually, I just don't think they did enough with it for what went into it and the sort of lore behind it. Guild Wars is a good game, but has zero logic. I think it's just this circumstance right here is more of a model thing, but I also do think, I don't know, it's just missing a lot of stuff. It has a lot of cool things going for it, but it's almost as visually appealing as the other spear from Gen 1, which also needs a lot of love. It just, I don't know. As a reward, I think the lore behind it is fantastic. I think the actuality of the weapon is it's a little more mid. It's there, but it's not really a fantastic weapon. That's why I sort of like, yeah, that's great. You gave me this spear and it has lore behind it and that kind of stuff. Give me an arena version of this weapon. Because that'd be cool. When I think this spear is cooler than the legendary spear, you know, this bolt of electricity in your hand, when I see that and think, oh, that's a really cool spear, but the legendary spear sort of makes me go, you know, that's a problem. Had they made a full-on electricity legendary spear, I mean, we'd be having a different conversation, but I don't know. This isn't gonna have footfalls and stuff, but like, I think that's a great idea. How's this look on the? Whoa! Just replaces your head. How? I don't know. But anyhow, yeah. So that's legendary spear. You may be going, Zorric, are you going to talk about anything else besides the spear? So since I didn't do raids, the only other things to talk about is the mastery, which I'm hitting the wrong buttons, which does deal with the spear still, but it was just adept handiwork worker crafting, which gave us new recipes, and my homestead is empty. I don't decorate my homestead, so this, again, there's nothing to show you. If you were decorating your homestead, you had more things at your disposal. They've also adjusted some things, so they adjust better in the homestead. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I think we're running out of stuff. The relics were pretty good. I guess we could talk about those really quick. Were the relics kept in here or in collections? I think it's rare collections, right? Janthir Wild collections? Am I wrong? Trinkets? Specialization? I don't remember where the trinkets are. What can I search for? Relic. Hold on. That'll do it. Relics. Janthir Wild Set 2. There we go. It was in rare collections. But it's named Relics Janthir Wilds. But anyhow, Steam Shrieker seems great, but it's just really hard to pull off and be effective with it. In PvE, I've seen some things, but in like any other competitive stuff, it just doesn't work. After using an elite skill, create an area underneath yourself. Standing in this area increases your outgoing strike damage. Meh. 15% increase for 6 seconds. That's if you can keep standing there. Like, it's very hit and miss. Restore endurance to allies when you grant them vigor. This one seems good as well, but it doesn't do enough to be interesting, but it also can't because they did that before. These were like old traits that they got rid of, I'm pretty sure. Cleansing condition from yourself when you successfully combo a field with the Leaper Blast finisher. Again, very, very niche. Where are you going to do it? I hated on Order of Whispers for 4 years, and I shall vanish. Okay. After using an elite skill, release a wave of pheromones that causes bees to swarm enemies. Great in PvE. Great in PvE for all sorts of situations. Terrible in competitive mode because they nerfed it already. And then the Relic of Unification, gain Frost Aura, Light Aura after using a healing skill. Again, I've seen this used in World vs. World and stuff. But again, the Relics, they're very specific in their use, and it just depends on how people are using them and what kind of situation you get put in for those. So the relics aren't as good as the first 6, I feel. Again, sort of like the rest of the update. And that's it. That's sort of it. The story, we go in, we beat up some titans. I'm not going to spoil too much here. They talk, and nothing really gets resolved except we figure out where we're going next. And it sounds like we're going to a new map, but we're not. Not in this update. It's the next one. So, but that's it. That's the update. And if you thought the review of that was short because we've only been here for an hour, that's the update. Again, I think they could have just put all of this that they gave us in this Godspawn update and just put it in the initial release. Which brings up the conversation, do we need 4 releases every expansion? Is 4 releases actually going to do justice to the expansion, or is it gonna do something like this where we have an update with such little content that it sort of makes us just feel like meh? We are at the end of the year where there's a lot of holiday stuff going on. People have time to play, but there's nothing to play here, ArenaNet. There's nothing to play here. And if there is something to play, it's here and gone already. We're talking 2 weeks probably max on a lot of this stuff for people to get all the achievements or feel satisfied about the raid or whatever. Like, people still doing the raid, they're not the best players, but there's already people rotating new players through the groups to make sure to get their content done, right? And while that happens, it's a lot of people who sort of like, I don't like raiding, and sort of get pushed into it, which is great, but the updates in between, the festivals and stuff for veterans like me aren't gonna hold us to playing the game. And when you have an update like this that's done in 10 hours for an open world PvE player like myself, yeah, maybe I'm not the target, but at the same time, I almost feel like you're wasting my time not giving me this sooner to work on. Going out to heart vendors, which I'm go to show that, and buying stuff and doing the hearts again and repeating content is not the answer. That should have been in the initial launch. The spear, the relics, the story, all should have been in the initial launch. In my opinion, this update could have just been raid-oriented and convergence-oriented, and it would have done the same thing for me. In all honesty, not everybody's interested in the homesteads. And I don't know how many there are, but I really feel like the homesteads are being sort of overhyped in what they are. Because the thing about homesteads, it's one area, it's one thing, you have to craft all these decorations. It's pretty expensive to get what you need a lot of times. And it just, I don't know. If you're not a creative person or care about that stuff, it's just, again, it's just not going to land. While I think homesteads are cool, I wish sort of like the updates brought new homesteads. Completely new areas for homesteads instead of just sort of being like a new mastery with some new decorations. But what are the limits here? What are we talking about? Is this expansion worthy stuff that's sort of just been drawn out over a year? Or in this case, 9 months, because technically the last update's 9 months after that. And then when the next year comes around, we get a whole new expansion, right? But like, I really felt like this update didn't do anything different. And if you weren't working on the spear, doing the raids, don't care about the homesteads, and the relics were sort of meh, like once you were done with the story and achievements, you're done. And that's 3 hours. That's 3 hours. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they'd gone into the convergence and stuff, but I do feel like that's just it. It feels like there wasn't enough content here to be an update at all. Are the updates going to be like this? It's like Soto's last update. It's sort of just, there's stuff there, but it really doesn't bring us content to enjoy. It's just content that's sort of frosting on a cake. But we already had frosting on the cake. What you're doing is just putting some writing on there. And then we have to go back and repeat the content again that we've already done for so many months. It's boring. Or we have to grind, right? We now have to go back and grind the same content that we've already done for months, but there's a quote-unquote new reward, but it's just an achievement checklist. And when you do that stuff, it makes veterans feel like they're wasting their fucking time. And that feeling spreads through the game. It's like it's like spilling a bucket of water. Like, people are going to start walking in it, and they're going to start to believe that, yeah, they're soaked, when really it's just their shoes. And it sucks when you have this feeling of, yeah, we got content, but only if you like this, this, or this. I shouldn't have to say that. I should be like, oh yeah, we got this, 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 we got this. If you don't like that stuff, we also got this. We're also getting an update for this, and they updated this. Like, there should be so much stuff to talk about in a couple months after, you know, a month or two after something, right? But there was nothing here. When I tell people, I can list it almost on my hand of the stuff they're probably going to be interested in, and more than likely it's going to be less than that, because I'm going to be like, do you care about the legendary spear? Do you like raids? Do you like, I could start asking questions and just whittle it down. If it's just open world stuff, I say quickly go do the story, get your mastery done. That's 2 things. And if they don't care about achievements, even less so. But the thing is, if you're a veteran like me and you're with a guild that's PVX and you're going into a world versus world and stuff, those relics, I don't even have to do the achievements to get all 6 of them done. Like, it's just, when you play the game at the fullest and you get an update like this, there's just nothing that's enhancing the game at its fullest. And I really do feel like, even though it's been stated that, you know, the areas of the game are sort of all being looked at and it's more of a balanced approach, I do not feel like it is a balanced approach. I feel like it's still doing this teeter-totter type thing of hitting this content and this content and this content, but there's so much time still apart. Even that 3-month period just feels like there's nothing to do for some people, and then when that population falls off, there's not a chance to grab them before they go. They're just gone. So when you get an update as empty as this, is it worth it for the game? That's the question. In this case, I do think so, because there was a legendary spear and a lot of people needed a legendary spear. And then the raid community was excited. But again, it's one of those, that's a close 5 out of 10 moment there that just by the skin of your teeth type of situation, where the players would have just been like, I guess Guild Wars 2 is over. And you don't want that. You don't want veterans saying that. You don't want new players to feel that. I think Guild Wars 2 is dedicating its resource to Guild Wars 3. Even though the game is currently the best MMORPG in many aspects, it is technically behind the times. I think every MMO is behind the times because of aging engines and aging development practices. In all honesty, the entire game industry needs a wake-up call. Making MMOs is not easy. Making a successful MMO is not easy. Keeping it alive is not easy. But at the same time, when something hits 10, 11, 12 years old, its time has come and gone for a video game. In all honesty, MMOs are the only games really that sort of overstay their welcome, because of sort of the community nostalgia factor is able to continue to work with the game. But there's just a point where the game is just hard to develop because it's just sitting on so much. You know, you had to put like a stool here to keep this table up, and you had to put this over here to make sure this doesn't fall down, and then you have to put this. And as that happens more and more and more, unless you go back and reinforce those things with better things or replace them completely, like that's more work and more work and more work over the years. And I think that's why we're not getting content. I don't think it's because ANET's working on a whole nother game. I actually just think that ANET's engine does not support the kind of development that they need to do. And it's really expensive to make a new engine. It's really expensive to get a game that's been around for 12 years on that new engine. And I just do not think it's going to happen for ANET, because they aren't WoW. They're not Final Fantasy 14, where they can pull funding from other groups that are willing to give it to them, because I just don't think NCSoft is willing to give them what they need to make the game to a higher standard. But also, WoW isn't doing that. Final Fantasy 14 isn't doing that either. They're not going to the higher standard. They're going to do more cinematics. They're going to do a lot more story. They're going to do a lot more filler. They're going to do a lot more little updates. They're going to start stealing content from each other, right? Because, they've done it, copy paste. That's what's going to happen. And that sort of waters down the existence of what they have, because they know things are teetering. But by adding that stuff, it's not a lot of weight, if that makes sense. But the industry needs to understand, if you want something to continue to be successful at a high level, it costs money now. And you need to develop it now, because when you do need to finally move the game to a better engine for whatever technology, and you haven't moved it to something that isn't 20 years old, you're in a race to catch up, and then you make mistakes, and then you lose money, and then you're doing this, and then you try to do cash grabs, and then that's what we're seeing in the industry now, by the way. From every AAA studio, you see it. They're doing cash grabs, they're doing this, they're doing that. The quality of the games are less, they're not done. The games aren't done, they're not polished, there's bugs, there's this, there's that. It's because this rat race that's happening in the industry versus what video games are meant to be, and it's a slow, methodical process that needs to be done right for a high quality product that will last years. And that's it. That's it. It's crazy. The content that's being released is just to prevent the player base from escaping. Yeah. They're dedicating everything to a new game. The new Unreal Engine will be used. So the Unreal Engine, and everybody that's getting into the Unreal Engine, the biggest problem with the Unreal Engine and just sort of Epic in general is that Epic is sort of a snake. With the way they do licenses and things like that. But the thing with Unreal Engine, it can do a lot, but does it sometimes building your own engine or going into an Unreal Engine and altering it for the style of development you want is extremely important, but it takes years to get it there. It's like a 4 to 7 year process to get an engine, so I can pull in a dev, say a dev worked over here, or this one worked over here, or this one's from a whole different country, right? And they come here and I can show them the tools and they're not going, I don't know what this is, right? Like, that's also the problem with game development today, is that you have to teach them the culture of the actual work, because it's its own thing, right? So like when you go work for ArenaNet, the problem is you may be looking at it and just being like, okay, it's going to take some time to get into. If you're constantly doing that with developers in any way, and there's turnover in your company because it's hard to work with your product, that's a problem. But I don't know if that's happening at Arena. I'm just saying it's an example of, like, that's the challenges of the industry right now, is that people go to school and they learn with these new tools and stuff, and they go work for a studio and they're not using the new tools. They're using the old tools that have been jimmied with some duct tape and some wire. Like, this stuff is holding on. Oh yeah, that makes that noise. Don't listen to it, it'll be fine. You know, that type of stuff. And you're like, hey, I tried to do this with the model and it doesn't do this, and they go, oh, that doesn't exist on that program. Like, that's what happens today. Like, you don't have the newest stuff sometimes, or you don't have whatever, but in school they're like, this is what everybody in the industry is doing. No, that's what the newest AAA studio is doing. That's sort of like the orphans of all the other studios that they ripped apart and then took the best people they could and put them together. It's ridiculous. It's an industry problem, but ArenaNet isn't going to be excluded from that in this review. I mean, there's obviously something going on here that's just not working. It's also a new system. I gave them a lot of pass in Soto. I won't give them as much of a pass now. If the next update is a lot of content and things like that, then, you know, it's going to ease the pain. But if the third update, so the second update's coming out, the third update, again, is sort of like repeat the content, but with this stuff, it's not going to fly, because it just didn't work. Everything's expensive. Especially the players are smarter and more selective than in recent years. Ubisoft is about to go bankrupt because of this. Ubisoft is going to go bankrupt because they're just dumb. Ubisoft's executives are their problem. Their upper tiers are their problem. Their CEO and executives all need to get removed. They have no goddamn clue how anything works below them. There's just no way. What was it? What was the thing that they did?
I'm rich, you know.
Wasn't it Ubisoft? That was Ubisoft that did it, right? Let me look. Was it Ubisoft? Let me see. Because I don't want to say it if it's wrong. But like, just think of Blizzard with Overwatch 2. Let alone like just the other scams that are happening in the industry anyways when it comes to advertising and that kind of thing. It just, I can't find the thing that I saw. I thought it was Ubisoft, but I don't want to say it wrong, because I've been mixing things up. There's been so much stuff coming out lately about companies and stuff. This year has been the year of exposing just bad people and bad companies and bad thing. It just... I'm surprised the game industry... I'm surprised the game industry is even alive at this point the way it is. I can't find it. I can't find it at all. And I don't want to Google it, but I'm going to have to Google it, aren't I? We need games, yeah, but I think... But the thing is, the things I see in Guild Wars 2 or other modern games, I see in indie games now. Like, it's a plague, man. It's spreading. It's because so many games come out and they're all being taught the same thing at, like, you know, that's the problem. Everybody's learning the same way at the same place for the same thing. That's why quality assurance testers I can't trust anymore. Q&A testers are the wall. They are the people who, like, will find just the off-the-wall stuff, but they also tell you, this just sucks. And I really feel like they can't say, hey, this isn't fun. I really feel like they can't say that anymore. And back in the day, one of the big things the dev, when I was testing stuff for a game for free, right? Because, oh man, yeah, alpha test, I'll absolutely do it. One of the things the dev said to me was, did you have fun? His biggest worry wasn't the brokenness of the alpha test. It was actually, does this concept make me want to play it again? And the answer at the time was yes. And it's become something else. I'm not going to expose that game, but I should, though. Nah, it's not necessary. But anyhow, the thing is, like, that was important. I feel like that doesn't happen anymore, where the dev goes, is that fun? They just go, does it work? Does it work? Okay. Like, because it's my creation. It's my idea. I don't want anybody to fuck with it. It was Ubisoft. Ubisoft just came out with NFT games. That's right. Oh, God. In 2024, almost 2025, they sent out, oh, my God, an NFT game. Like, how dense is your fucking just brain molecules? The things that make you think, how dense are they for the signal not to send to just say, don't goddamn do that? Like, the public don't like that. It gonna make you look bad. But Ubisoft's, like, executives and higher ups, they're just immune to criticism or something. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. If Astrobot didn't do NFTs, you should probably take a page out of their book and just say, hey, people just like when we just go back and use a bunch of characters and stuff. Like, making games isn't hard. Making games fun is, for some reason, which it should be the opposite way. It should be making a game fun is easy, making the game in general is hard. Like, anybody can make a game. I can fold up a piece of paper and flick it and I made a game. It's not hard, but is it fun? I don't know. Can you do this? Can you do this? Do it. That's called challenge, and then you get skill, and then it becomes fun, because then the challenge is whoever misses first loses, and then it becomes hardcore, but you don't even realize it because it's so fun just trying to make sure to get your thing down, to flick it right, and then... What are you gonna do, though? Zorric. Anyhow, let me catch up on chat completely. Riot's making an MMO. Everybody's trying to make an MMORPG. Tencent is just buying companies. So at this point, I really don't know. You bought Overwatch? I did play Overwatch. I liked Overwatch. And then I didn't. It became very repetitive. It became... I didn't feel like it was really rewarding me with anything. I don't know. It just... Every time I was winning hard. Every time I was losing hard. And it was pretty obvious something was going on in the background. Then I found out, like, oh, if you don't play for a long time and you come back, they boost your damage and your defense. And you get to kill people more often. And then it wears off after a certain period. And then... yeah. You know, game not finished after 15 years and got $500 million? Scam! Star Citizen, I believe I was one of the first so many thousand people to jump on board of Star Citizen. I don't even know my account name. I like, for a couple of years there, I forgot the game was even existing. Like, I thought it failed, and I was just like, whatever. Still waiting. No, you can play Star Citizen. You can walk in and you can do the stuff, can't you? Isn't there like some stuff you can do? And then you immediately die, and then it doesn't work anymore. You bought ships. They gave me some founder ship or something. They were like, this is going to be your ship in the future, and this is the stuff it's going to have. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I forgot my account, so I'll never know what that ship looks like in 3D space. Overwatch 2's failure isn't because it's free to play. Overwatch 2's failure is because they started to dumb down the game for casuals to the point where even casuals are like, this game is stupid. Yeah, that's what happens when you dumb down a game far too much and you start making everyone a winner. In a competitive game, not everyone can win. You can reward everyone, but they can't win. If that guy is better at shooting me in the head than I'm at shooting him in the head, don't help me. You don't help me. Like if I'm 5 feet off his head and I shoot and it kills him in one shot, that's unfair and doesn't make sense, and it makes me feel bad for doing it. And it makes me not want to play anymore because then I'm just like, oh, that's dumb. Hey, Chaz. Merry salty Christmas Eve to you. I didn't even play Overwatch 2, but the things I heard, that all their changes and stuff, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. It's just like, what is happening? This is like your core demographic saying these things, too. I'm sort of lost at what you're aiming for. I think I've gone too smart in the conversation in this review. I think I've started using things like core systems and demographic and pull back, Zorric. You're a gamer. You don't care about that stuff. I buy the product and I play it. Is it good? Yes or no? I think Janthir Wilds is good still. Just that this update wasn't as good as the initial one. The initial release. He just changed the name to 2? Yeah, copy paste. That was Call of Duty for like 7 years. For 7 years, they were just like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare, your mother sucks, Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare, your papa's gonna be mad that you played so many hours in this game, but it's worth it because game on, mother. And then Modern Warfare 7. And then you're like, what the hell? How many Modern Warfares? But of course, you know, I was the guy who played Final Fantasy 15, so. And I everybody talks about Final Fantasy 7 and stuff, but the very first Final Fantasy I ever played was 1. 1, 4, 5, and 6 were the first Final Fantasies I ever played. Not in that exact order. I can't remember what. And then it was 7. It was 8 and 7 because my best friend in 6th grade had those games. And then I bought Final Fantasy 8 for myself and eventually Final Fantasy 7. And then Final Fantasy 9 came out, and that one was my favorite. But I went back and I found, when computers became a big thing, I went back and found a way to play Final Fantasy 3. And then I found out, oh, I could play Final Fantasy 2, but it was in Japanese. So I had to go find a way to play it, and it turned out that somebody had done the job of translating it already. So I was able to play the original Final Fantasy 2 and 3 sort of translated. Final Fantasy 3 is sort of translated. But the PlayStation versions of Final Fantasy, like the Anthology or whatever, 4, 5, and 6, those were the original Japanese games just translated into English. With some censorship, of course. And so, but anyhow, so I grew up playing Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then Final Fantasy 10 came out and I sort of fell off the rafters. But the next thing I know, they're talking about a Final Fantasy 14. That thing's been around for 10 years. Then I finally got to play Final Fantasy 13 and I regret everything about that. But, you know, I'm that person. I'm that guy too. I was that gamer who was like, oh yeah, I played 1 through 9. I gotta play 10, 11, 12, 13. But I gotta say 12 is a fantastic game. 10's pretty great. 13, what the hell happened? Final Fantasy 11 was an MMO. well, it still is, I guess. People still play it. Final Fantasy 14 was an MMO. I don't know why they didn't just call it Final Fantasy Online and then Final Fantasy Online 2. And then they could have kept to the core series of Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because that's what they would be at now. Because 12 would have been 11, 13 would have been 12. I guess 14 is where they're at now. Because, yeah, 16. I forgot 16 came out. Yeah, but I was that guy that was buying them because they're like, oh, the next number's here. But in all honesty, the Final Fantasy games were not like Call of Duty or like this Overwatch scam. I mean, Overwatch game. Then they had Call of Duty by 2 developers released every other year, so you thought they were different, but just different developers. Best game I've ever played is still Half-Life. The best game I remember from my childhood. Go back and play it now and say the same thing. Half-Life, you know what made Half-Life so good? It wasn't the most serious goddamn game, but it was tough. You know? Like, if you knew what you were doing, easy game. If you didn't know what you're doing, you were dead. Like, I think it's Half-Life 2 where you get the thing where you pull the object in and you blast it at stuff, and if you don't do it right, blast and hit you in the face and you die. Yeah, that was me. It's bad now. I don't even think Half-Life and Half-Life 2 are bad now. I think they are just like when I went back and played Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. It's not a bad game. People are like, it's the worst Zelda of all time. I don't think so. I think it was just a very hard Zelda. There's actually things in there I enjoyed, oddly enough. I didn't beat it, but you know, I got close. Yeah, games today should be better than games from 20, 30 years ago. Going on 40. Going on 40. Final Fantasy 11 was such a grind compared to games nowadays. By comparison, you get far less done in more time. Same thing with Guild Wars. If you played the original Guild Wars, there's a lot of grind to Guild Wars compared to Guild Wars 2. Like, in the 12 years I've played Guild Wars 2, I've accomplished like 300 times more things than I've accomplished in Guild Wars 1. That's because I suck at Guild Wars 1. I suck at it. It's terrible. Terrible game. It's a dumb game. I'm not going to play it. You can't make me. Shut up. I just double-clicked my character as though that was going to put me in the game. You played Guild Wars 1 but stayed in Guild Wars 2? I remember all the comparisons of like, it just isn't Guild Wars 1. Yeah, it's a whole new goddamn game. It's like when you go from Final Fantasy 10 to 12. Like, what do you think was going to happen here? Even I was like, yeah, it's not Guild Wars 1. This sucks. But after a while, when I realized how bad I was still at Guild Wars 1, but not Guild Wars 2, I was going like, what the hell am I saying? Yeah, Guild Wars 2! Guild Wars 1! That shit's retro! Hey, what's going on in here? There's a new Royal Crown skin. Let me see. Show me. Is it there? Oh, it is! Oh, it's a little crown. What the hell is this?
Seize the moment.
Excuse me? Like, is the Royal Crown with that? Like, did they intend it to be with that or just, trying to tell. I don't think so. The Bloodstone Boogie, emote. Of course, the plush tiger. Oh, it sparkles too? Are you kidding me? What in the legendary armor is this? I'm surprised they didn't come out with the armor that was based off the 7 dragons. Legendary armor of the dragons. That was the problem with putting legendary armor behind raids and competitive modes. was the fact that they could have already had legendary armor in the game and done shit like that and just ate up a bunch of these resources to keep the economy more stable. Because some mofo out there, hey, it's Jam Jam. Somebody, I'm not saying I would, I'm just saying somebody out there would definitely go make this outfit if they can make it in game. I'm just saying, if that outfit was in the game as a constructible legendary thing, you know, surprise us to produce a perfect Guild Wars 3 game? I don't think Guild Wars 3 is coming out anytime soon if they are working on Guild Wars 3. Okay, I'll be honest, everyone. Guild Wars 3 is a fantasy, okay? I mean, okay, yeah, it's gonna be a fantasy game, but what I mean is, like, if they're making a Guild Wars 3, it has to be in a new engine. They have to figure out a way to probably extend Guild Wars 2 stuff to be involved with Guild Wars 3 in some way or shape, way or form, because a lot of people would be angry that they invested so much money in Guild Wars 2 not to be able to have that stuff in Guild Wars 3. I'm like burning up here. I might have to take off my shirt. My hoodie. Woo! It's not as cold outside as it has been. Let me get to Janthir Wilds and then I'll be right back. Like, I gotta take off my hat and hoodie and I gotta take it all off. But I'm like, it's like way too hot in here. I'll be right back. All right, I may have gotten distracted. Just a little bit. Distracted just a little bit. Oh man, I cannot seem to get my headphones back on. All right, back to Guild Wars 2. What would distract me? I have no idea. No idea.
But catch him with a careful paw or slip right out of your grasp. Mind don't
All right.
Take what we need and leave the rest for another.
We're in Janthir Wilds. Let's do this heart.
And watch it.
The easiest way to know how.
Every blood-sucking bog crawler is keeping an eye fixed on us.
Yes, we can all stand
Nicest of 'em yet.
in the same circle. Here come the drakes. Bring it on. Boom. Absolutely annihilated. No. Got it. So great at the game. These cookies are really good. I gotta close that or I'll keep eating them. Stop it. Stop it. I like the overlapping ones that you can get by the basket and get two. For it. Or silver, 18 copper. Sir Sockslayer. This is Sura knows what's going on. Professor Pummel. What a name.
If you got anything left in your pocket,
If they do come out with a Guild Wars 3, what do we want out of Guild Wars 3? That wouldn't just be a copy-paste of Guild Wars 2. Could ArenaNet make the combat better? Better homesteads? Will they have, like, housing and stuff?
time to do something. Nicest of 'em yet.
All right, that's going to finish almost half the heart. Did a great job that time.
There it is.
Probably 40% of the heart.
Hungry, but it's gonna turn the shoreline to fish bones. I'll get these to the fishing lodge. You take care of our friend here.
That guy got absolutely annihilated. Don't move, Zork. Okay, move closer. I hate the stop and go, man. Bounties, Path of Fire 3 bounties existing in any other content is just a travesty. Please break the bar, people. Please break the fucking bar. All you gotta do is CC. Thank you. Now we don't have to deal with this stupid move, don't move crap. These people have no DPS either. Oh god, we're gonna be here for years. The music stopped? Great. Wait, how did I get so much? I am so confused. Where did that extra heart participation come from? Because I was less than halfway, right? Huh? You're gonna want to break that bar. Just shove this guy in the corner. Come here. I got knocked back, which is a bad thing. Ooh, maybe I should have gone Scourge. Yeah, come here. As long as I stand right here and keep its attention. Should be pretty easy. Yeah, get up on that rock. Get stuck. Whoa. Now you're stuck in the DPS now, aren't you? You ain't going anywhere. I am the tank now. Oh god. Alright. Alright, that'll finish the heart so I can talk about this other stuff. So, when you're making the spear, you need to finish the hearts. Which again, by doing rifts, it's an easy way to do it. And I'll do some rifts here in a moment to talk about that stuff. But, you know, I'm going to continue to buy the map things. I earned 1,120 karma, so... No. I don't need that. Do I need that? I mean, I earned 1 billion karma. So inside of here is the amalgamated rift essence. If you don't want to craft them yourself, I think that would be foolish of you if you don't craft them yourself. So make sure that I highly suggest crafting the stuff yourself. But they also have the sweet treated pine planks here. In Janthir Century, they have the alloy. So that's where you can get that. Here's the extra remnant for the back piece, I believe. And then the other one, they have the remnant for the other. And here's the map completion. It's 15 renown tokens, 2,000 Ursus Oblige, 250 unusual coins, 51,000 karma, and 100 of the Curious Lowland Honeycomb. So that is how you can get extras of these without doing any more mapping, but I think you have to buy those. That actually isn't too bad. I know I'm short on this and I would need another 2,000, but you can get those from the chest from doing hearts over and over and over. So I don't remember how many though. But then you can also buy these discounted shards. You can buy them undiscounted, but that would be silly. Buy the discounted ones. Finish the heart, then buy them. They're 1,050 karma a piece. They cost an amalgamated gemstone and one of the Curious Lowland Honeycomb, which is easy to come by. And the shards of Lowland Shore here are much cheaper that way and easy to acquire. Amalgamated gemstones have dropped to a gold 25. They were a bit higher than that. The Lowland shards themselves are only a gold 65. So you got to decide whether that honeycomb and 1,000 whatever karma is worth that extra 40 silver. If it is worth that 40 extra silver, then you could just buy the shards that you need. You need 100 of these. So these are going to set you back 165 gold right now if you're buying, and it's not much cheaper if you're putting in a buy order. But that's not too bad. If you were just going after the 21 you can get per week, so you're going to need to do it for 5 weeks, you're going to need the amalgamated gemstones, so that's 100 amalgamated gemstones. If you're going to buy these and sell them throughout the entire year for the extra profit on top of them, so the 40 silver, well, it's going to be a little less than that because of taxes. If you're going to do that, it's going to be over 2,000 amalgamated gemstones in a year, because it's 52 weeks times 42. which I guess I can do on a calculator because I can't think of the number in my head because I just ate a cookie. Which is 2,184 amalgamated gemstones. It's also going to be 2,293,200 karma. And of course, over 2 million honeycomb. I have 1,000 honeycomb, 2 million honeycomb, 2,000 honeycomb. I have over 1,000 honeycomb, so that doesn't seem too far-fetched. If you're doing the hearts all the time too, I don't think that's going to be a problem. That's if you're just selling the Lowland Shore shards. I think at this point, the amalgamated gemstones are the things to sell. But again, if you can complete a heart, you have the amalgamated gemstones. I ran out, and then I started doing the math, and I just don't think it's worth it for me to waste my time too much with that stuff. So, the other thing is Mersat rune stones with that spear have fallen a lot. They're down to under 18 silver apiece. I have seen them drop all the way down to the bottom of 17 silver something copper here. So just a big warning that they were like a gold and a half before the update. So my guess is the back piece is probably just going to use 100 of them. If it does end up using a stack, there is a constant just flow of supply coming in. I don't know if I'll see them even reach 2 gold ever, so it's not too bad in the price of things. I didn't have to buy any of those. I ended up selling them. That's where I made back some of my gold. So, and I don't even know where I am on my gold. 2,189. What? Where'd all that gold come from? But anyhow, I'm trying to think of the other stuff on the maps directly that deal with the spear. I can't go show you the NPC because there's spoilers. I think I've already accidentally spoiled it in the past. I don't want to go do that again. Hey, look, salt cubes. The salting station with salt cubes. Look at that. Look at them! They're pink! Himalayan salt? But I'm trying to think. Mersat runestones are pretty cheap to buy is what I was trying to point out there. The other thing you can do is like open the chest. I'm pretty sure I already opened this one, but like the lock chests are almost guaranteed to give you one, but not really. But they're a good way to get a bunch of the unusual coins you need for buying whatever else. So when it comes to the currency, doing everything just requires these 2 maps and you just coming in here daily and doing the stuff that's involved with it. They need a salt cube decoration for the homestead. Bam, down. Yes. The other thing you're going to need a lot of is the lowland pine sapling, the honey flowers, that kind of stuff. These things still sell well. You know, 8 to 10 silver, that's pretty good for a node that's giving you 3. So you're talking 24 to 30 silver per node, which is really good. Compared to like if I was doing freshwater pearls, right, and I can get something worth 80 silver, it's still better here to come here, chop down the lowland saplings and collect honey flowers and try to get on a different IP, because it's like 20 gold an hour just gathering, which is fantastic. So these maps are still really profitable and stuff even after the update. Even more so after the update, because people needed those resources, but now it's starting to settle. I expect by the time they release the legendary back piece, which will be the final update, the 3rd update, not the next one, that the prices of those will go back up depending on how that back piece looks too and how much work it's going to be. I am not sold on making another legendary anything next year, except the stuff to finish out my characters, the legendary runes and sigils. I have legendary everything else except runes and sigils. So that will be the legendary goal for next year. Might as well talk about that stuff now. So next year in Guild Wars 2, I'm going to finish that out. That's going to be the end of my legendary journey for the most part. And then after that, I think I'm just going to start making legendaries and either giving them away or giving them to guildies or whatever, selling them. I just see no reason for me to continue going after anything besides maybe achievements, masteries, of course, mastery points, and that. So once I'm done with that legendary stuff next year, that's the end of the legendary journey for this account until they come up with something else that needs a legendary something. I don't think I will go after that back piece because of the way the spear was. I don't need another back piece. If it does end up looking really cool, maybe. But I mean, it would have to be something substantially cool. It would have to be remarkably amazing. Unlike the spear, which is pretty good, but it's not like the greatest design of a legendary I've seen. So I don't know. It's really going to come down to that. The other thing is the meta event for Janthir Sentry is still... I don't know. I don't have a mighty need to go play it, is how I feel, which sort of sucks. Because in Soto, I did sort of feel like I needed to, but also ArenaNet made me go do it so many times over and over and over again that I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to wait because I know there's going to be an achievement later on. That's the other thing. These updates come out, you do the stuff, and they're going to make you go do the stuff again. Is it even important to do the stuff for that update? And the answer to that is it depends on what it is. Like, if it's something that's, you know, a lot of people are interested in now, it might be a good idea to go do it a few times and stuff to get whatever unlocked. But, like, if it's something you have to grind towards, you might end up having to do double duty if you do it now. Yes, I said duty. And then you go back and you do it later. Like, it's not going to be worth it. That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you go do it later, you don't get just credit for now, you'll get credit for the next thing too. So it's sort of designed that way too for new players. So it keeps us interested as veterans, but new players to also quote unquote catch up. It streamlines the process. But again, it also makes me think, like, why should I put the effort in now? And that sort of sucks about these expansions, is that the content that comes out isn't sort of like a checklist, get this stuff done if you want now. It's sort of like, should I get it done now? And I couldn't tell you the answer. It really depends on whether you like the grind in the game or not. Soto's grind eventually just did not feel... Oh, it's a mythical chest. Dun, dun. We're gonna go do rifts, so I'm gonna be on the map for a while. I'm not gonna put aviator box down. What's the thing we do now, Remy? What you tell me that I'm doing wrong? What was it? Oh, they did point it out in the map. I'm just running around grabbing resources. Come here. Bobblehead, that's what it is, yeah. Bobblehead. Yeah. My utility. Oh. That's why I'm hitting a little harder. I was like, I don't recognize these numbers. Because I'm actually using the utility. Oh, for the karma bonus. But yeah, So all this last update did for a lot of things is just add another layer of death, or in this case, like another tab on the merchant panel, I guess is the way to look at it. But I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. I hope in the next expansion that if there is something legendary, that you can make it on day one instead of waiting. I don't know how that could work. They got it to work for the spear because we didn't have all the maps to do all the mapping, but the back piece, I guess, is going to use the next 2 maps worth. My guess is it's going to be sort of like a flip-flop of what we did. So, no, it's just going to be a repeat. I think about it. So we're going to get a new map. We're going to finish the mapping there, get a gift or whatever. Then the 4th map, we're going to finish that for the final update and get a gift or whatever. And that's going to be used for the back piece when that comes out. Why is there always banging outside? It's Christmas Eve day, and there's people out there hammering. I'm surprised a chainsaw hasn't gone off. This year has been the year of let's see how much noise we can make. How many days this year? Like, what is going on? How did I miss this? See how much the honey flowers are worth. Sell. Yeah, 9 to 10 silver. Running around making money. Still pretty good. Open that up. Look at all those unusual coins. I'm up to 12,843 of those. Got 2 Mersat runestones. It's pretty easy, casual farm. So the spear, as long as you're not rushing it, it's not going to be that bad. I also have over a stack of ornate rusted keys that I should probably do something with at some point. Keep forgetting that. You'll also get a bunch of medallions. So that's these things right here, these green ones. Medallions, rares, that kind of stuff. And then the coral tentacles, but they're shards. Those all can be converted to amalgamated gemstones one way or another. I talked about that the last time. We were doing a test stream and I was making some gold. But, yeah. I figured out the numbers there. I did lose money because I lost the amalgamated gemstones when I converted them to shards. But I was gaining like 82 silver per. So it was like 82 silver times 42.82. I made 34 gold. Even though, but I already had the amalgamated gemstones, so when I sold, it looked like I was getting the full sell, which made it look like I was getting like 70, 80 gold or something like that. But I was not. Because I was losing the amalgamated gemstones, which have their own value. It just hadn't taken it out for so long that I thought something messed up. But it did, like, it just didn't click in my head. Murdering son of a... Alright, I'm going to start looking for rifts and talk about those a little bit, because I do think this was a great change to get people re-interested in rifts, and also very synergetic to... very synergetic to making the spear. So a lot of people do come here. Also, there's some good money to be made in these rifts from the essences and things like that. If you're either converting the essences or usually I get drops, but I guess not today. These guys will also drop rotted whatchamacallits. The Rotted Titan Amber. So 7 to 9 silver drop. Those are going to be cheaper because they drop off the creatures themselves. Eventually, one day, those things will bottom out to their base price of 8 copper. Like 10 years from now. So anyways, so by doing the rift, you get a rift extraction, which is this chest. When I open it, it's going to give me 2 renown tokens that I can then either save or use for the hearts as well. Now, I can do that either to buy those shards much easily, or what I can do is save them up and buy the gifts of exploration type stuff. So, you know, specific to the map. I need 15 from each map. I can earn 12 a week, so it's not that important to be going after them specific for that item, but it does make things easier, and you get a bunch of essence you need for those amalgamated whatever, so when you're crafting them, yeah, I also got 3 Rotted Titan Amber and some blood out of that somehow. But the glory of things. What I'm doing with my essence, too, and is why I'm not scared of doing... Would you work? Keep double-clicking stuff in the game. It doesn't even open. What the frick? Is I'm just converting it to defense sills right now. I have no idea what the best stuff is. All I know is I need 500 defense sills. Did I reach it? No, I'm still 40 short, 36 short, so 4 more buys. After that, I need to go figure that out. You know what? I'll go figure it out now since that stuff got updated this weekend. Let me tell you, essence conversion. Oh, I can't call it essence. It's rift essence now. All right, rift essence. Let me look here. It looks like writs are the best conversion and then the defense sills, but it's not too much. The reason why is because the writs can be converted to imperial favors, and imperial favors can be converted into literally gold. You can buy things to sell in the trading post, the dragon stuff specifically. So it's a conversion to conversion. But the defense sills will eventually, you buy the Tengu boxes and the Skrit supply boxes and then the Almacan and Coden boxes, and you open them up and they give you all sorts of shit. But yeah, crystal bloom boxes are per seal. I guess it really comes down to what you want, but yeah, all that stuff's there for conversion. Now the other essence, so there's the next one up, the masterwork ones, the green ones. Their conversions are still the writs and the seals from that, or map currencies from the Soto maps. But you can also use those essences to make the motivations. So comes down to what you want to do with that. The rare ones comes down to the season 4 currency box, which you then do conversion to trophy shipments. But don't buy the trophy shipments directly from the conversion, if that makes sense. You want to buy the season 4 currency box, get branded or inscribed shards, eat them, and then go buy trophy boxes, or what you should do is you can actually make diviner stuff and sell it on the trading post for like 6-7 gold a pop. But it really comes down to that stuff. I'm unsure whether the trophy shipment is better from the essence or eating the currency directly. Now I'm thinking about it, but you know, at the end of the day. And then it's defense skills, written defense skills, by the way. Yeah. So essence always has a use, so doing the rifts, pretty easy. Nice and synergetic towards the spear, probably the back piece in the future. Or just if you're wanting to keep finishing the hearts over and over and over for the rewards with that, because in those boxes you get, you know, 30 Titan Amber or whatever, you know, that adds up. It's a lot of gold and things like that for finishing hearts. ArenaNet actually made hearts sort of profitable in Janthir Wilds. Sadly, you know, that stuff is only going to stay profitable for so long. So, it was behind the fence. So yeah. You have your masteries done, also cutting down like the pine saplings, well, anything, mining or that kind of stuff. There's a chance to give me extra materials from the maps, including the other one, depending on where you're at. So it just adds value to be on these maps, hitting just almost everything. You know, that's good money right there. Even that hasn't happened in so long. I'm glad that was recorded, because I was pretty sure I was cursed. 4, 5, 6? Are you kidding me? The hell is happening? Almost 46 silver? What the flip? Oh, and I got a 4 strike? Game is broken. Okay, Rosemary Sprig. Hold on, didn't I hit this one? No. Did I get another one? What is happening? All my luck gone right there. I should have rolled for a precursor. That's a joke. Where's that one? It's all the way up top. Are you kidding? No, I can do this. Sky Scale, save me. Yeah! I can fly. Oh, it was just on the other side of the mountain. Never mind. Shut up. You don't know how to read a map. Okay. Go over this way. Is that everything for this? Trying to think what else to talk about when it came to the update, but I don't think there's anything left. It's just do what you were already doing, and if you already have the resources, focus on the resources you don't have, which might not be even the expansion's resources. Gotta be like, I don't have enough Dragonite, or you know, I need Mystic Clovers or something like that. That's how I feel the at this point when it comes to people needing things. It's gonna be stuff like that. If it's Rift Essence, make sure you do the 5 each week on these maps to get the extra renown tokens, just to make life easier. Oh, I can't go over there. There's stuff going on by the NPC. I can't go over to him right now. In the future, I'll spoil it, everything. Oh, this is going on. Now I can't get this achievement. This is the shoddiest looking bridge I've ever seen. Are these even, like, nailed down? Somebody showed me a bridge like this in real life and said I had to cross it. I would tell them, no, I don't. I think that's it. I think that's it. What do I have for weeklies? 3 champs, 100 Cryptus, and some of this other stuff that it's going to look very optional when I'm done with the weekly. The Terrar meta event is not a hard thing, and also finding events there isn't too bad either, because I guess I should talk about that. Go to Bloodstone. It'll make me get there faster. But it's the holidays. I can drink 5 cans of Mountain Dew if I want. Actually, for some reason I forgot I opened one for lunch, and then I opened a second one. I'm having a second Mountain Dew. I don't want a second Mountain Dew today, but put it in the fridge? Let it go fully flat? No, I like the little feeling of a little bit of carbonation. So this is what makes that other, this weekly right here a little bit more tolerable if you don't want to do like all the other events that are going on. And then some of the other events too are literally just escort someone like to the next event, and then you can just walk away. Anyhow, as soon as I get this done, boom. Instead of just having 1 point here, I now have 3 out of the 15. And so each one of these, a veteran Vine Tooth, Mordremoth, Vine Tooth, whatever. Each one of those is worth 2 points towards that. You kill 8 of them, you're done. You find another event. The other one, I'm sorry, I'm gonna hit this flax. This is money. This is money right here. Also, I need so much flaxseed oil. Is this treasure mushroom that this person is disposing of right now, not understanding that they're gonna run into this vet. Don't worry, I'll save you. That one's a real easy one to do. Even though you can only get the reward once a day, the event counts every time. And then this person wants to purify the spring. And this one isn't too bad either.
Just escort me to the spring.
Bye. Let me go around the corner. There he is. I thought 2 of them were fighting each other. I was like, what happened? Funny enough, the scarier thing there is the Stonehead. Just like that, 3 events done. I'm trying to remember where the other one is. Oh. Cease to exist. Defeat the remaining ones. Dead. That's an event, and this leads to this guy, which is...
I will consume you. You are mine.
I have
Whoa.
a higher calling.
It's a little hot.
You will not have me. A magic you crave will tear you asunder.
Dang, this love story is insane.
You move again. Stay with that Mordrum. It will lead you to where they've taken advantage.
Ooh. Sup?
You can't win. Time favors Mordrum. You are already dead.
Release me.
Time favors Mordramoth.
They'll have to hit my
And recharge all my skills. I thought he runs away or something. I don't think it's this guy then.
I don't want to think about what may have become of me if you hadn't.
Easy. 10 shiny baubles. That's 3 gold. I wasn't planning on staying here this long, but you know. He's not a champ. Game's rigged. Can you open this? Hey, open this, please. Hey, can you open this? Got him. God, the guy's just practically standing there. We did it! Bow down. Getting yelled at for playing video games. Can you believe that? Crazy.
Must begin the activation process.
My job right now. Play video games.
Many Mordrum.
My sword.
Stop yelling. Oh, yeah.
Southwatch. Will
Are you asking me to do something? No. Oh, what's this one? Oh, the mirrors. These suck. Get absolutely wasted. Oh, wait. We're supposed to be doing north and east. Crap. I got distracted. Wait a second. Oh, that's this one. Don't worry, everybody. I'm here. Got confused. Thought I could do any of them. It's not a Vinrith. How many times do I have to kill it? I don't know how this works, but good. Flip. All right, now we can do these.
Feel the fury.
Uh-oh. A lot of poison. That's a lot of standing still. Nope, we're dead. We're gonna die. We're dead. Ow. We win! Man, Heart of Thorns. They're so aggressive in this game. This is gonna fail in 5 seconds? That sucks. Well, that's not gonna count. That doesn't count. Failure doesn't count. I think ArenaNet's exact words were, if you fail, you might as well just uninstall. I think that's what their words is. Dumb. I'm gonna work my way back to the east side. There he is. This guy is just causing all the trouble. Whoa! That was an event, by the way. Some Vine Tooth are just out there to just, like, be the worst. A Norn Savage. I can fly. There's like an event with those bone breakers. I think each one of those count as an event, right? I never thought someone would actually just go out of their way to fight a bristleback, but I'm wrong. That person's name is Danger Gay. First name Danger, last name Gay. Hey, this one's up. Yay! I'm not gonna stay here and do the meta. I want to be done with this and move on to the next thing. I don't remember if the hero point counts. I think everybody killed the other thing. I don't remember what that is.
Shiny armor action begins. Come, shiny armor, come here. This armor can't wait for battle.
Oh, this event's going on. We can do that. All these Mordrums spawn and you beat the crap out of them. Wait a second. I earned keys being here. Next one's down this way.
Armor action.
I hate how they get distracted on this side, though. And there's gonna be like a pause after 5. That still happen?
Shiny armor versus big bad Mordrum. Shiny wins.
That elite backed up into me.
Shiny armor action. One armor. So shiny.
Oh, it's a sniper. The moon erupted. He's gonna shoot and it's gonna suck. Okay, fine. I thought I saw that. Dang, I thought some champs would spawn here. Yay, we're done. GG's. And some more keys. Excellent. And some currency that I really don't need, but I'll take it. It's free. Magic trophies. There's so much crap you get in HOT, and it's mostly worthless. Boom! Alright, 100 Cryptus is easily done, actually, in Omnitas. Because you can either do the rifts. It's also bandits. I'm trying to think if there's a good place to fight bandits. Specifically, Queensdale. There's a lot of bandits out there. I really don't like to show places like Hearts and things, because when you're level 80 and you have the expansions, you should go do the expansion ones because you get better loot, is how I'm going to say it. Going to a starter zone and killing a bunch of bandits can be fast, but it's not really the most profitable way to go about things. Nor is it really productive for the community to have a bunch of people going out there doing it. But the synergy also works if you can find events that have bandits that spawn, like out in Queensdale, and help newer players defeat those. But where I'm actually going to go on this map has nothing to do with the rifts. Up here, like I was saying, there's a bunch of Cryptus just out and about. There's also some out here. They're up top and stuff. They do like a circle, and there's some inside of here, but this place can suck because of the turrets. But they're just walking around. They just patrol and things, and they're not the hardest thing to beat. And it's pretty fast to beat them. Gonna try to get all the way over here. By the way, this waypoint right here is the best waypoint on the map. But there's also some events over here where the Cryptus just spawn and spawn and spawn. And there's gonna be some inside of here. Yeah. Pew pew pew!
Time to do something.
What the frick?
Told you should have stayed home. No.
Pew! Oh, I didn't hit him with all three? How's that even possible? Big bad.
Gonna have to deal with it. Wayfinder, get out your gun.
Get out your gun. Bad news. Like how my physical stuff doesn't work, but like... Bad news, we're not going to be successful. No, we failed. What's lost?
Too strong. How can we let
They're not too strong. You're being dramatic. I showed up late, and you couldn't do it in the time limit by yourself. You're too weak. They're not too strong. Okay, just think. Watch. Boom. This one's just running from it. Look. Too strong. What's too strong? This pile of bones and meat? Unbelievable. They're too strong. What in the turret? Archer strong. Oh, conditions. How many am I up to? 72? Okay, 28 more. I think I should go up to the other side. Nah, I just need to come out here. Yeah, there they are. Just avoid the champ. Sup, losers? What are you doing over here? Just flying around? That guy's stuck in a tree. What a loser. Now he's dead in a tree. Pull that stag over too for good measure. 18 more. Hey, the ones are out here. Oh, it's the big group walking around in there? Oh, you missed. You suck. What a loser. The cursed? Yes, you are. Cursed to forever live like a loser. Come here. Why are they so fast, ArenaNet? Why are they so fast? And then you slow us down in combat. You make zero sense, ArenaNet. I want you to understand that. God, it's shit like that that just makes me think you don't play your own fucking game. Who are your Q&A testers? Do they exist? Are they made up? Is it just a guy named Frank down in a basement? Because if there was a Q&A tester, like, they would have been like, yo, those guys are really fast. And you don't have a chance to catch them. Especially if you get hit by one of their friends. But Frank doesn't talk about that. He talks about, like, the script and the stuff and the code and the fact that the whatever matrix doesn't make sense or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making words up. Frank doesn't care about the flow of the game. He doesn't care about the fun. Frank is just there to scratch his belly and tell you that he could have done it better with his eyes closed, but his mom makes him stay in the basement. Hey, we're done! Yay! Wait, we're not done. That was for a different achievement. Now we're done. Kill that one for good measure. And that's the weeklies. Really easy weeklies. Killing the champs will be done automatically. Get them 10 laurels, free spirit shard, a booster. Done. I got 13 shiny baubles while I was in HOT, so that's pretty good. The map rewards where all the money was at. Almost 2,200 gold. I'll have that by Monday. But that is it. Janthir Century was more profitable than everything I just did, though, I think. Nah, well, the laurels, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. This map I didn't like. You know, Omnitas and Janthir Century sort of feel the same. Like, there's a lot of enemies, there's a lot to do, but like the map sort of sucks to move around in sometimes, and I don't know, it just feels like you don't want to be there. Also, getting this map currency sucks. Because, like, why are those in the updraft? Who did that? No, I missed it! we believe? Can I just talk about something that happened yesterday? So we're supposed to play Stardew Valley yesterday, right? And I ended up playing Ballitro for like 3 hours. Also, Chaz lost his mind and bought me like freaking $1,000 worth of games. I don't know. Christmas bonus must have been amazing. Not that I'm not appreciative. I'm just... It's a lot of games, you know? Gotten so many new games this year, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. How much Stardust do I have? 3,643. Oh. Oh. I didn't think I had that much. Really hard to see these. One all the way up there. Updraft time. Okay. There's more above me? Nice. Nice. 3,662. Oh, there's that line over there that I usually get. Anyhow. Trying to think of anything from the update specifically. Talking about Godspawn, Janthir Wilds. I don't think there's anything else to talk about when it comes to that. If I missed anything or you're looking for raid stuff, I highly suggest watching the raid guides that are out there. Those raid guides will pretty much explain everything about the raids. And you can make a judgment call if you're wanting. It's actually pretty easy if there's an emboldened raid going on to get a lot of the stuff done for Wing 8 as it's called now. So you know, if you need raid stuff, that content is out there. You just won't find it here because I'm just not big into that scene, never have been. People always want to argue with me that raids are too good to be skipping and that kind of thing. My reasons for liking or not liking a raid or whatever, raids in general, is just my opinion. But at the end of the day, I like to see every place in the game flourish. Even PvP. Oh, I shouldn't say that. But anyhow, it's just that, you know, it's not that some people, the raid community is a very small part of Guild Wars 2's community at this point. Compared to just the more casual player base or even the players out there sort of just trying to do everything, right? But the thing is, there are people out there that don't only do casual content, they do go into that in-game content, that higher-end content. And without that there's just no spice to the game. So they enjoy like trying to get the challenge stuff that will be coming with the next update. You know, when those challenges come, they will be in there doing that and stuff. And it gives them something new to go after versus the same mundane, just collect as much gold as possible to get whatever thing that you need or buy this or that as it comes out. And it's not just achievement hunters and stuff. It's people who just want to sort of challenge themselves every once in a while, and they have friends and stuff that need help, and they jump into that content. So it's good to be there to sort of spice up the game. Also, it's great to know where the ceiling is on content, and you can't have that without raids. So at the end of the day, they are there. I'm not against them adding more raids. I am against them not improving the raid experience. I still think the raid experience is lacking in steps for people who want to you know, get into raids and stuff. I think there's just not enough explanation in game but there is a lot of community discords, that kind of stuff out there. If you really do want to do it, you're going to have to go look for those. In a raid discords and that kind of thing. In general, a lot of those people who teach raids and stuff are very patient and very inclusive and that kind of thing. They want you to be successful. They will help you be successful. It's just that, excuse me. It's just that ArenaNet hasn't really fostered the raid community so in a while. And here is some content, so a lot of those people are excited, and now would be a good time to try to get into raids in general, because if you play Wingate and you enjoy it, they may do other wings too, and you know, you can go join those and see if raids are something you just like to do, or at least try to get some new rewards. Maybe work on the other PvE armor, whatever it is. But again, those are out there. You just won't see that content here. That includes, you know, the next update with the challenge stuff. You're not going to see me in there. Here's the thing, too. I know people that could get me that stuff, right? They, you know, like, I could be like, I can do DPS, and they'll be like, all right, just do this, and I can go in there and I can get the stuff. That's the other thing. Like, if I really did want it, I would do it a very specific way. But also, I'm not afraid to help people when they need help. It's just, again, I don't like to sit somewhere for 2 hours and not succeed at something. When it's grind, it's grind. When it's literally you're getting nothing for your time almost, it's not worth it. To me. It's just, you know, I want to get in and be successful at least at something by the end of it. And a lot of times I feel like that's not happening. I don't know what this was, but I helped. And I got 14 Stardust for it? Okay. Is it on this island that I can grab the whatever? Lantern. What is hitting me? Oh, this is some of them, but it's not the ones that I was looking for. The Rich Orichalcum's over here. I'll grab that. What else was in that content? Home. Okay, so I did go into the homestead today, but again, I'm not big into decorating. That shaman, if you know who that is, he does the data mining and that kind of stuff. I don't talk about what he does specifically here, but he also made a maze for Halloween and that kind of stuff and let people come in and figure out the jumping puzzle type maze type thing he had, which is really cool. That stuff is cool. So those who do the homestead stuff, you know, they are out there doing that. I'm just not big into that. I'm not that kind of creator because I cannot create something that looks good if my life depended on it. You know, maybe I'll get lucky and something will look cool, but it may only look cool to me and somebody going, dude, what the hell is this? Like, you know, but that content is out there. ArenaNet also started sharing like pictures of people's homesteads, so they like do that, and a lot of people share it on Reddit and things. So if you are interested in that content, there is community. There is, this was the line I was thinking of earlier, by the way. There is community. There are people out there doing it. You're just not going to find that content here either. So again, the update has stuff. It just, it's not stuff exactly that I enjoy or am going to be utilizing well. But I did make the legendary spear. I did some of it on stream, but not all of it. That's because it was sort of grindy and just buying stuff off the trading post and exploring that, and the salt behind it I think was warranted because the convolutedness to it made it seem much worse than it actually was and is. I mean, it's pretty bad still, but it's not it's not as terrible as my initial feelings of it, in all honesty. So, you know, is that new spear worth it? I don't think so. I mean, especially if you don't care about the skins. I would just go after the Gen 1. It's much cheaper to make. It's only like 1,300 gold to make if you had the materials, versus the 2,100. You don't have to jump through loops for most of it. You can buy most of it, but you do have to have the Gift of Exploration or the Gift of Battle done to... You need both of them, but usually it's one or the other that stops people from doing the Gen 1 legendaries in the first place. But, you know, that's just it. That's why I also think that World versus Worlders and PvEers open world, when it comes to Gen 1 legendaries, this is the dumb argument about Gen 1 legendaries, the Gift of Battle. I hate the fact that people say that the Gift of Battle gets people into World versus World. Yes, there are stories out there of people going to get their Gift of Battle and sticking it out in World versus World and finding community and stuff. Yes, that's great. That's wonderful. But I guarantee you, most of the community does not feel that way. Or World versus World would be flooded with people. Okay? I think it's absolutely an old school fucking move to put the Gift of Battle in just World versus World and the Gift of Exploration just in PvE, when they should be able to be traded one for one. So if you want to get 16 Gifts of Battle in World versus World and trade one over, somebody said you need to trade 2 over, but I don't know. All right, maybe. But the thing is, if you want to do that way, it would be great. Because then you don't need to leave your game mode, and say you don't mind doing the Gift of Battle, or you don't mind doing the Gift of Exploration, but you like one more than the other, right? You like to do a lot more World versus World. It means you spend more time doing the thing you like to do. Say you do go into World versus World and you don't mind it, and you do go in there once in a while, but like when it comes down to it, it is still a grind for you to do the Gift of Battle when you need it, versus that just doing map completion is the most relaxing thing you do on a Saturday. I still think when it comes to Gen 1 legendaries, those two components should be a 1-for-1 trade somewhere at an NPC. And everybody's like, oh yeah, but the PvE players, they should have to do more work than... No, they should not. Stop it. The Gift of Exploration is by far more work than the Gift of Battle is. That's why they end up having to give you 2. 2 of them! 2! Takes 3 times long. It's almost 4 times longer if you're one of the better players of the game to get the 2 Gifts of Exploration. So even if you cut that time in half, you can get 2 Gifts of Battle in the time it takes to get 1 Gift of Exploration, if not more. So don't tell me that it should be harder for PvE. You're just fucking full of yourselves. There are PvE players better at World versus World than there are World versus World players who say they are better than PvE players. Trust me, I know them. They are better. If they can walk into a raid and kill the boss in world record time and then go to World versus World, what do you think is going to happen? That knowledge isn't just going to transfer? Their skills shift and how those skills and traits interact with each other just going to magically disappear? They're too fucking stupid? No, because I also know they're champions and everything in PvP. What about that? Where's your argument now, World versus Worlder? God, I hate your fucking arguments. There's no base for them. There's just no basis. Gift of Battles should be exchangeable with Gifts of Exploration and vice versa. Players should not be forced into something they don't want to do. And then you go, well, maybe they would like it if they just tried it. That's their problem, not the game's problem. And if you want players to go into World versus World, trust me, the Gift of Battle probably isn't going to be enough to keep them there. That's why we have so many people show up when there's the big giant reward, right? We get all this influx of players. And that is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Then all these players are getting yelled at, and this toxicity comes out of the fucking woodwork because these players are trying to get their gift of battle done because ANET's giving a 30% boost to them this week. And they're just thinking, that's 30% faster for me to get my gift of battle, or as many gift of battles I could get done so I don't have to spend as much time in World versus World. And then they're just dying left and right. And the week is completely ruined for everyone who plays World versus World. You want to know why? You want to know why the week is ruined? Because you can't do anything. There's queues, and when you get in, 30% of the population isn't even a World versus Worlder. You have to teach them on the fly. They're not going to go to meta battle and pick up a build. They're going to run around, try to kill Daliacs and take camps because that's what people told them to do. Instead of instead of joining a squad and picking up a build inside of meta battle and just being productive at all towards the Zerg, where they'll get credit and stay participating, and they'll get bags and things like that. But then no commander shows their tag anymore, so it's not very social public thing that's going on in World versus World because it's now just a guild event for their guild that does raids. There are so many things wrong about the argument today that did not exist even 5 years ago. The thing is, PvEers that only like PvE and do not want to do competitive mode should not have to work harder, nor should they have to walk into another game mode to finish their Gen 1 legendaries or anything else that requires a gift of battle in 2024/2025. I'm just saying, that includes the fucking spear. By the way, because we need a gift of battle. That's why I'm talking about it. People who enjoy Janthir Wilds should not be leaving Janthir Wilds to go do World versus World. They should be staying in those maps, keeping them populated. Because PvE needs the population even more so than World versus World. Because if World versus World needed population, it would already be a dead game mode. And while some people will argue that, it's not true. NA is still populated and can queue out, even on non-popular weeks. It's just the truth of the matter. So when it comes to that damn spear and all the extracurricular stuff around it, Gen 1 spear will still be probably the better way to go. Especially if you don't have your gift of battle anyways. It's less convoluted and it's going to be faster, cheaper to get done. Also, how much is that? What's the spear name? What's the precursor name to this? What are they doing out there? No, 80. What the fuck just happened? Price. Exotic. This is the... Oh, you can sell the precursor to the spear? Interesting. The Pell Branch Spear? I think that drops from the meta after the last update. Glad I looked this up. Mystic Spear. There it is. Carchararis. Yeah, I don't know how to say this spear name, but it's only 35 gold for the precursor here. So that's not bad. Gift of Magic, Gift of Might. I'm trying to think what's involved with it. The Gift of the Shark. I just made the Trident, and it wasn't that expensive either. So, like... You know, I don't know at this point. But I think it's time for that to change completely. I think what will drive players into World versus World, if you want to hear the counterpoint, well, then what's going to bring players into World versus World? Is a tutorial zone. Like making Edge of the Mist an actual tutorial zone. And your first 10, 15 ranks, are just following either an NPC commander or an actual player commander, and you know, learning things. It's telling you things. This is a supply camp. This is important to have supply because it's utilized in this, this, and this. Just that kind of stuff. What is hitting me? You know? You can talk about towers, gates, walls. So players don't just go in going, oh. And then you could also have an NPC explain, you know, it's important to have good armor and weapons. The armor and weapons you use in PvE could be taken into World versus World, blah, blah, blah. But to remind you that your skills and traits might be different when you enter a competitive zone like World versus World, right? These are important things for players to learn in general, but for World versus World, turning something like Edge of the Mist, which is absolutely worthless now almost, besides for achievement hunting and maybe doing a GVG, the thing is, like, it's there. You just have to turn it into something that makes players want to go in there and get rewarded for it, right? And then when they're done, Edge of the Mist can actually be something useful for players who are on the edge of not. So they're rewards, but not as hefty rewards as you would if you're doing the actual competitive mode. But there's a slow, steady burn of rewards that can happen in Edge of the Mist. So anybody who's... No. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Sorry, Bo is bothering Lucky. I don't know why. I've never really seen him do what he's just doing. He's pawing at his face. What did I just say? What are you doing? Lucky's just sleeping, and Bo is just fucking clawing him in the face. What the... Jesus. Now he's sad that I yelled at him, but like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, it's probably supper time. Are you hungry? Is that it? Oh. Then why are you bothering him? What a weirdo. Hold on, let me see if I can grab him. Don't growl at me. Bobo, say hello. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Huh?
I'm rich.
Are you a good boy? He has his mad face on. Say hello. Sniff the microphone. Anyhow, everyone, that's it for the review. That's it for Guild Wars 2 today. Well, we went 3 hours. It's not too bad. I did say this show was going to be one of the shorter ones. Next Tuesday, we'll be doing an end of the year YouTube show. And it too will be a shorter show. He doesn't like to be picked up, by the way. Say hello. Say... You're not in trouble now. You can see. Hi. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Most people learn by doing? I don't know. The thing is, if they do it and it works... But I don't think you're disagreeing with me. I'm just saying World versus World doesn't need the gift of battle to be its reward, to get people in. I'm saying it needs a proper tutorial system to get people warmed up. And then when they go join, they don't feel so flat-footed. You should not have to leave Guild Wars 2 to learn Guild Wars 2. Has always been a thing I've said. I know that's the new day and age of, like, gaming in a nutshell, but I think having to always look something up or having somebody else always make your build is just never been good. And reading skills and traits can only go so far as to understand all the moving parts And that takes a long time to learn. Like, Guild Wars 2 is easy to play, hard to master. We all used to escort the Doliacs in World vs. World? Really? Did we? I was busy commanding. I'm just saying Edge of the Mist can be utilized to get better results. I really do think Edge of the Mist can definitely be done. Edge of the Mist used to just be a K-Train fast ranking just place to be. It used to have tons of rewards, but it just was never the overflow system ArenaNet needed it to be. It became the PvEer's paradise. So Edge of the Mist was fun, but then they took all the rewards away, and now Edge of the Mist is not. You know? You beta tested that? So did I. I remember taking people through, collecting oil. I remember doing that stuff. Putting a tag on. Like, let's do this! Blowing up bridges. Fighting Zergs and losing. Because you're like, why is a tier 1 guild here? What? Why is Blackgate here? And then Jade Quarry, you know? Why is Jade Quarry here? Oh, they can't. They're waiting for something. What are they waiting for? Oh, they can't fit in the map. Oh, we're getting farmed. I was back before the GVG was a big thing, like the open map stuff. You were about to jump, weren't you? Weren't you? Hi. Want to say hello to everybody? What's going on? Watch his ears. Do your thing. Bobo. It's okay. All right, everybody. Jade Quarry, life for you. Man, I was offered so much gold to go to Jade Quarry. What the frick is this box? Cookies. But yeah, that's it. That's it today. Hopefully, the next update for Janthir Wilds is going to be better. I forgot, this is going to be in the Janthir Wilds playlist, so the next update hopefully is going to be better. Because we're getting a new map, we're getting those challenge stuff for raids and convergences. We're getting, what else are we getting in there? Gotta remember everything. 6 more relics, new homestead decorations, a new armor set, weapon set, mastery updates, whatever that is. Story will continue. The story should be pretty heavy, I think, for the next place, because they're going to have to establish a lot of lore for people who've never played Guild Wars 1. You still have the golden Doliac finishers? You missed the tourneys? Yeah, actually, the Isle of Janthir, the server, the world I was on, my server, right? My team. When the tournaments were going on, we gamed it so we were gonna get first, and then the other two teams colluded so they would get first and second, and we would get fourth. And so the tourney sucked. Yeah, the tournaments ruined our server. Constant exodus, and a bunch of people left our server for quote-unquote better servers, and it just... Yeah, they should have immediately locked the servers, is what they should have done. But instead, they were earning money, so I guess it didn't fucking matter to them. But you can't have tournaments like that and just have people being able to move all over the place. Now, with world restructuring, tournaments can work. Here's your team. Can you win? You know? Woad armor was good. Get your woad armor in World versus World, people. Don't spend all that gold and stuff in PvE. All right, I will say that. What was the weapon set we got with the last update? I keep seeing that, but I can't remember anything about a weapon set. Am I forgetting something? Oh, it's the red ones, isn't it? No, that was from the vault. Bloodstone. I don't remember. Yeah, it's not memorable, so that's not good. Was the Blood Moon alternative a full moon? I thought that was in the Wizard's Vault. No, the spider one's in the Wizard's Vault, right? Yeah, the Blood Moon. Yeah. Thank you, Remy. That was in there too. They're all right. I like the original ones a bit more, I think. I mean, is the next weapon set just going to be another one of those? You know? Yeah, new weapon set. Copy, paste, saturation, hue. Okay, new color. Oh, man. The last update, we're going to get the legendary back piece. Oh, we're getting an armor set and a weapon set in the next update. The last update, so the third one will have the legendary backpack with another weapon set, mastery, 6 relics, new homestead, a fractal with the challenge mode, and a convergent challenge mode. The raid challenge mode and legendary mode is just the next update. So the convergence challenge mode doesn't happen until the third update. And the third update will have the fourth map and the story will end. And they'll announce Guild Wars 3 and it's all over. Nah, I'm just kidding. In January, so there was only Winter's Day that happened in December. We'll have Return to Icebrood Saga. We'll have the PvP Rush event. So they'll be bringing that back after changes. Skills and balance update, and then the Lunar New Year. And then that will push us towards the next update. That's what's happening in January. That's as far as they've shown us for the roadmap. I just went and looked it up. But that is it, everyone. We are done. I hope everybody had a great year. Merry Christmas. Because this is happening on December 24th, 2024. Tomorrow, if I'm able to get on, we'll play some Stardew Valley. We'll be watching Discord if you're interested in Stardew Valley Expanded. That, well, if I can fix it. And Thursday and Friday this week will be Tunic. If you did not see a very Legend of Mary Zelda-like Christmas, that's when we played all those games, 12 games. There's a playlist for that. And then, Happy Festivus, yes. Merry Crustaceans. You're just fishing for something there, Remy. Darn it, I was trying not to laugh. It's over. But anyhow, yeah, Tunic on Thursday and Friday this week, and then next Monday, Tunic finishing up. If not, we'll move on to a different game. Next Tuesday is the end of the year YouTube show, and then starting January 1st, next Wednesday, we are just hitting the ground running. There's no end of the year show anymore. I ended that last year. Well, we didn't do it last year because I was like, YouTube doesn't really support a 12+ hour show. They only support 11 hours and 55 minutes. You too. You have a great night. And you have a good holidays. And you stay happy and healthy. Don't threaten me with a good time. Any mods lurking in chat, I appreciate you as always. I think that's it. I will... Oh, the next time we go live with Guild Wars 2 will be sometime in January for sure. It won't be too long. It'll be like 2 or 3 weeks. One, 2, 3 weeks. January 14th, I think, is the next Guild Wars 2 show. I won't go past the 21st. So, because I have to do a show in January, but I don't want to go too long without playing Guild Wars 2 or anything or talking about stuff. They'll update things. Yeah. Definitely before the Lunar New Year, I think. When is the Lunar New Year? Oh no. When did the Lunar New Year drop last year? That's the important one. I went to the wrong website. Lunar New Year. Last year it dropped January 30th to February 20th. Oh, 2023 it dropped January 10th. What's with the Lunar New Year? It just happens whenever? February 15th to February 24th. January 26th to February 19th. January 17th to February 8th. February 6th to February 22nd. January 22nd to February 12th. January 14th to February 4th. February 2nd to February 23rd, January 25th to February 15th, January 10th to January 31st, January 30th to February 20th. So I don't know when it's going to happen. It's definitely on random. It tends to way later in the month than it does earlier, so I don't know. We'll play it by ear. There will be Guild Wars 2. Trying to think if there's anything else to cover. I don't think so. No, that's it. That's as far as the content future looks like. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. That's it. Like and subscribe, and as always. Oh, don't forget the sales are going on until January 2nd, too. Again, you can use my link if you'd like. Make sure your cookies are enabled, your ad blockers disabled, that kind of stuff. You can refresh the page once you have that stuff fixed, quote unquote. But you can get like Into Dragon's complete collection for like $50 US. That includes all the seasons, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, Into Dragons. Soto's 20% off, and of course, you can always just buy Janthir Wilds as well. All that stuff supports me. I'm an ArenaNet partner, so yeah, there it is. And as always, I leave you with this. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're all we got. Have a great night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is. Make it great. If you're going to bed, sleep well. Get that rest. You will need it. Trust me. If I don't see you for the rest of this week, it's probably because you had a really great Christmas. Merry Christmas. And if it's so great, I don't see you until next year. Happy New Year. Just enjoy the rest of your December. Play games, eat lots of food, tell people that you love them. Just do great things. Play Guild Wars 2. Or not, you know. I can't control you. But eat plenty of good food, you know. I'll say that. Oh, you're watching that weight? Don't worry about it. Next year, resolution. That's how it works, right? All right, I'm done. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.